Hello and welcome to the Hi-Tec Oils Drifting Australia for round number 2, coming to you from the Bend Motorsport Park in South Australia, about an hour north towards the Murray Bridge region. It is fantastic to be back in drifting. It's been 12 months, or it's been 10 months since we've actually had a round of drifting. I'm Matty Cavalier in the studio, and joining me is Adam Burgess alongside, normally out there in the drift car, but didn't make it to this round, mate.
Yeah, logistics, COVID, a couple of factors, but it's lovely to be here. It's lovely to be a part of it still. I just wish I was out there banging doors.
Mate, it's fantastic that we could make it back here for round number 2. We've got a big season of drifting, all thanks to Hi-Tec Oils coming your way. Big shout out, of course, to Zoo Performance, who got on board with the Pro-Am as well again. So we can't thank them enough, remembering they are giving away a Zoo harness to our winner of Pro-Am today. Second place going to get a Zoo steering wheel, and then we go to a Zoo hat and toe strap for third position. So great supporters of the Pro-Am, the up-and-coming drifters. Also need to thank Tri-Ace Tyres, getting on board. So many of the drivers now starting to get onto the Tri-Aces, and they're really finding some great results out of that. Then we got Orange Hire as well. We need to thank Orange Hire, a new sponsor we got on board in 2021. And we're fantastic. We can give them a hell of a lot of love here for round number 2 coming to you from the Bend Motorsport Park. We've got a full list of battles coming away, really. We've got the top 16 coming from the Hi-Tec Oils Pro class, not too far away. That is going to be what's going to kick things off. Our top 16 of the Pro-Am, all thanks to Zoo Performance, has already been run and done. We're a little bit ahead of schedule today, so we're going to go straight into the top 8 after we see our Pro class, and we're going to go back to the top 8 of the Pros, the top 4 from both categories, and of course into our finals here for the Zoo Performance Pro-Am and Hi-Tec Oils Pro classes this afternoon. It's a big afternoon of drifting. It's all going to come down to the judges, and of course we've got our three top judges in the country, Dan Mackey, of course Stewie Bryant and James Dean Martle, who are going to be judging behind the scenes. They are going to be putting together everything that you need to know, and really they're looking for a lot of things when it comes to the judging here this weekend. The main thing is a lot of outer clipping zones when we come to the Bend, South Australia, and we will get to see that as the cars go around, but a lot of outer clipping zones, big walls there, so there's a lot of risk when it comes to drivers. And in practice yesterday, we've already seen on social media all the damage that has been done by running that outer line. It is a risk. You need to be right up there, but it's really about the lead driver laying down a nice line, getting out wide, allowing the chase car to put the nose in and keep that proximity. So for those that are new to drifting, basically we have a lead car and a chase car. The lead car needs to stick to the line. That's where they're going to maximise their points. The chase car, it's all about proximity, meaning they've got to be door-to-door, side-to-side with them. Right now, though, we're going to head down to our pit reporter, Carly Bell.
Thanks, guys. Here we are at the start line. It's amazing to be back here in 2022 for round 2 after nearly a year. So we are here waiting for the guys they're lining up at the moment. We're pumped. The cars are ready to go. It's a perfect weather. It's actually cooler today compared to the practice yesterday. It was a lot hotter. And anyways, there's not much happening right now while we're waiting for the guys to roll in.
Look, we've got our Pro top 16 coming your way, and Brodie Mayer now from South Australia. Let's talk about him. He is leading our championship after one round. We were at Winton Motorsport Motor Park, and he came into there from Tasmania, new to the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars. He qualified really well there. He took out the win. He's maximised his point. He's come away leading the championship. It's been 10 months now. He's had the car back in Tasmania. He pulls that poor little 2.4 litre SR down. That thing is, billet SR. It's very highly strung. He's pulled it down. He's come out now. First qualifying run yesterday lays down a 95.3. So he's gone number 1 qualifier once again. Didn't even make it out in the second round. Come out, had issues there. I believe they did some alternator issues yesterday. So for him to come out and just do that again, he is really going strong in this championship.
Yeah, no, he certainly has. He's obviously carrying on his momentum from round 1, which was a very long time ago. But he's just a very clinical driver. Right? I've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to have been in the Hi-Tec Series at Winton when he was there. You watch him, he knows what the judges wants. He knows his car very, very well, so he knows how to position and how to drive it. So testament to him for being, the number 1 for today. He's going to be a hard man to beat. But as we know, Hi-Tec always likes to throw a spinner in the works, and he's got a very good team of drivers wanting to knock him off.
Mate, he's had a lot of work to do to get here. Dale Campaign, a South Australian local guy. He's qualified number 2 in this one from DC Drift Team. Another tough competitor there. Same thing. They went through that 94.5 he got on his first run. So it seems to be the first runs where most of the drivers have come out really well. This is our championship standings at the moment, though. Brodie Mayer, as we said, came away from round number 1 at Winton there with the win, 115 points. Brendan Bogger-O'Grady, who's not here in round number 2, is currently sitting second. Matt Harvey, another Tasmanian there, in third position. Just missed out on making that battle against his teammate, I suppose, or fellow Tasmanian. Alex Sharker not here this weekend either, in fourth position. Mo Hooley, well, we'll chat about him very shortly, but he's there in South Australia. James Abbott is there in 6th position. Glenn Omerod in 7th in the 86, and Senna Tunney in 8th position. In our Pro Series Hi-Tec Drift Allstars for after round number 1. That is our championship standings, as you can see up there. Now, we'll talk about Mo Hawley very quickly there. He's came out, he qualified here yesterday, but unfortunately he has hurt an engine, and badly, so they haven't got that fixed. Yeah,
it's a shame. That's what happens in drifting. You know, we're not very mechanically sympathetic most of the time on these cars, so to have them run for the length of time that they have, you know, it's a testament to obviously the workshops that put them together, but this one's given up the ghost. I'm sure he will rebuild, be back bigger and better for the next round.
Oh, look, from Victoria, he was 5th when it came to qualifying. He actually got a half-decent score there, but unfortunately, yeah, he has done major damage to the engine. So Mo Hawley will not be joining us for the rest of this competition. So his battle pairing will get to go through into the top 8. Pretty easy run for them, but he's got a massive turbo on the front of that LS, really, like the S13. And what's amazing about Mo Hawley is not only does he have a blue S13 that he drifts with a huge turbo, he's got a street car the same, and you can barely tell the difference apart. And that thing goes to Heathcote and runs like 8-second passes. So you've got a very similar engine package in the two. It's a big monster of an engine, highly strung, and unfortunately, yeah, that's come to some damage. Now, let's have a look at this one. Another one who's really stood out when it comes to qualifying is Patrick Barley. Now, the young gun from the Northern Territory. He's in 2019, he's got on the podium there at the end. He's probably just going into his 20s. Like, he's very, very young. Got a lot of racing heritage behind him, though, with his dad, his grandfather. They're all involved in some sort of motorsport. Very speedway orientated. They have brought that into drifting, really, when they've come out and done this. It is a very simple car behind the scenes. Not a lot of things going on in the cabin. Keeping it simple, making it good to drive. He's 3rd in qualifying now. That's in the Corvette, which we know is a carbon Kevlar body on it. It's got a 434 late model engine. If you follow the speedway, the late model engines makes about 900 horsepower. Let's see what he can do, because he's definitely not afraid to put it on the wall either. So we'll have to wait and see. He's got a lot coming in. Roger Anson's the one in 4th position, though, another South Australian, very local. We just see he's got the new white livery on the car as well, and he's another one that's very, very clinical. We know he races a lot of other different cars.
Yeah, no, he's got a circuit racing background. I just know that purely from word of mouth. You know, the racing community is very small once you're a part of it. So once again, yeah, clinical is probably the best way to put his driving style too. He's used to turning lots of laps in circuit cars. He's gripped up. He's got good mechanical knowledge and understanding. So he's just another good patriot that goes from the grip to slide scene and just does it with ease.
And that reliability doesn't come by fluke either. We know that behind the scenes, I've seen him at drift meets where he's got the whole crew there, and they'll do a nut and bolt check on that car afterwards. So they check everything out with that one. We said Mo Hawley was in 5th. Nathan Greenhill in 6th position, but unfortunately we just saw him a little bit earlier being pulled off the track there. So hopefully there's nothing too wrong with that car after a little bit of a practice session here this afternoon. Surprising, Matt Harvey is in 7th position. Now, the other Tasmanian, he came out of a win in the final round back in 2019. He had a win there, and he started the season strong, like we say, in 3rd position there in the championship at the moment. Another clinical driver. don't know what it is about Tasmanians, but they just seem to have that little bit of, I suppose, patience as they get around. They're very smooth as they drift around the track. So we'll have to see what Matt Harvey can do here today. He won't be happy about 7th position. He has put it out there that didn't quite feel comfortable in the car. A couple of minor changes today, and they seem to be getting on with that. James Abbott back there in 8th position as well. So I'm sure half of the Hi-Tec Oils Blaze unit, he'll want to be trying to improve that and go through. Scott Shembry, teammate. Now, he was late today, and he managed to get himself into 9th position because yesterday it didn't look like the car was going to be going. So, Shembry in 9th position. There we go. Qualifying results are there. Brody May, 95.3 is his top qualifying score. Dale Campaign with 94.5. Patrick Bully at 93 points. 89.8 points for Roger Hansen. Mo Hawley won't be joining us for the rest of the day, but 89 points there. Alongside him, Nathan Greenhill on 89 points in 6th position. Matty Harvey back in 7th. And James Abbott in 8th. That's your top 8 so far. Scott Shembry just outside there in 9. In 10th position, so Cookie Monster, Damien Cook bringing the big Commodore or Skylar door, whatever it is. It's got the Commodore front end on the R33. Of course, got the big LS in it as well. So he'll be looking for Zoo Performance to see what he can do. Jason Ferrin is the one I want to watch, actually, in the 11th position at the moment. He's got the Barra wagon, the R31 with a big Barra, 580 kilowatts. I'm hoping he probably just doesn't want to mess that car up yet. It's very pretty.
Oh, it's a very pretty car, and that's it. Couple it with a Barra. It's something you don't see every day, but it is a damn cool car. It's one of one. So, look, I know that when the car's gripped up, it is amazingly fast. So I'm sure he'll just be wanting to get into the battles because that's where he'll come of his age.
Glenn Omerod's there in 12th position, of course, in the 86. And look, that is a very neat car. It's been put together really well, and surprising to see him down in 12th at the moment. Adam Wood will be in 13th position when it comes to our qualifying. Of course, we are back for round number 2 of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars, coming to you from the Ben Motorsport Park. I'm Matty Cavan in the studio here with Adam Burgess, and down there, catching up with some of the drivers is Carly Bell.
Thanks, guys. I've got Scott Shembry here next to me. Now, Scott, what's happened? You drive the Hi-Tec 370Z, and you are looking at maybe swapping cars at the moment?
Nah, so we got it sorted. Just yesterday we were just fighting a misfire when we were out in qualifying. So unfortunately we hit the wall. We've sorted the wheel alignment. We've sorted the misfire to go for my second one. Laid down a pretty decent lap. Unfortunately, me and Jabba have to battle each other in the top 16. So we'll put on a good show for everyone at home. But yeah, it's good to be back. Obviously with COVID and the floods and everything. So just happy to be here. And
there's definitely a lot that's happened. So how are you finding the bend so far and coming down to Adelaide?
Yeah, very technical track. Obviously not driving for a year, get back in the car, a bit rusty, but no, everything's going pretty well. As long as the car holds together, we'll put on a good show, me and Jabs, and hopefully everything turns out. We can get past and then send it to the podium for the Hi-Tec Blade unit.
Awesome. We're very looking forward to you out there driving again after it's been so long. So
yeah, thanks. I just want to give a shout out to my little brother Harper at home. So good.
Oh, it's beautiful. And have you got any other sponsors in regards to the car?
Thanks to Hi-Tec Oils. Obviously they put on a killer show here, so they're the biggest one. Tri-Ace Tyres. We got BBR who takes care of the car. Motorsports TV, Hi-Tec batteries, and Venga who fixes the car every time we hit it. We're probably going back there after this weekend.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it all.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Good to see half of the Hi-Tec Blaze unit there. Of course, got the Ferrari Red 350Z, and look, it's probably been a big night repairing that car. He's looking like he's had to do a fair bit of work overnight, but they've managed to get that car fixed, and it's come out there and qualified this morning and put him in ninth position because he was looking at doing bottom qualifying there and having to come out and really have to battle his way through. But what is sad, it is going to be taking on his teammate there, James Abbott. So it's going to be half the Blaze unit's going to be going in round number 1 of battling.
Look, it's going to be a very good battle. These two guys have driven with each other for a very long time. So if there's one battle to watch, I think what we're going to witness here is going to be fantastic. Both driving phenomenal cars, both driving on a track that they're not too familiar with, so they're going to, none of them are going to leave anything on the table. It's going to be fantastic to watch.
Mate, it's going to be awesome. Let's catch up with Carly again.
Thanks, guys. Here we are with James Abbott. He's got the other Hi-Tec Oils drift car, S15. Tell me a bit about it.
The car's awesome. It's a new car relatively. We haven't done that many laps with all the COVID and stuff, so we're really starting to dial it in now. In practice yesterday, it's probably for the first time I've really felt comfortable in it compared to how I used to drive in my old car. This one was always a bit of a mystery to me, but it's all coming together now. The qualifying results didn't really reflect probably not my best laps of the day, but unfortunately that's put me and Scott in 8th and 9th. We're battling first, which is less than ideal, but hopefully we get a few reruns so we get some laps together, put on a good show.
And is this your first time at the Bend as well?
First time at the Bend, and what an awesome facility. The track's good fun. We're finding like a difference between laps. One super grippy and then a bit of dust blows across. It's an adventure each time. We're sort of reacting and just trying to keep it on the track. But yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah, well, the facility is still under construction and they just keep adding to it, which is amazing. But also, can you tell me about, I do find this is the loudest car out there. What's actually running it?
Okay, so we've got a 2J, and I think the noises you're talking about is the anti-lag system on it. So when we're off power, it's backfiring the system, keeping the turbo spooling, and so we've got instant power out of the corners, which is good when you're up against some of these cars with the big 8s that have the instant torque. With the turbo car, it just keeps it up in the power range.
Oh, regardless, we all love a 2JZ in an S chassis, that's for sure.
The best.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and I can't wait to see you out there.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
There he is. James Abbott, he is good to go to. He's so relaxed when it comes to these days. Him and Shembry, like you say, how many times do you think they've battled together in all the years of drifting that they've done?
You couldn't even probably count that high.
Yeah.
You know, they learnt to drive together, and as growing up watching drifting, in Australia, they were always the two synonymous names. So hundreds of laps they've probably done together, if not more.
We'll have to wait and see. Is it going to be the twin-turbo LS or is it going to be the 2J that's going to conquer this one there? Of course, the S15, like you say, Nigella there, they commonly name that Nigella, and it's good to see that he's starting to feel a bit more comfortable in that car. I mean, it's amazing what he has done, but we want to see him back up in the podium for the Hi-Tec Blaze unit, especially when it comes to the series. He'll be looking for some points there to try and redeem himself. Remember, we've got 3 more rounds to go after this. We head back to Winton again, then we head up to Queensland and finish things off there in Sydney at the end of September, start of October. So he's still got a fair bit to do, and they'll be seeing if they can try and just get those points so they can creep back into the championship standings. So let's catch up with Carly once again.
Hey, thanks, thanks, guys. Here we are with Roger Ianson. He's with another S chassis. Is this the first time you've been down here?
Tail and bed, no. So I'm a local here. Probably done this track 4 or 5 times with the Drifting SA team. So yeah.
Oh, no worries. And how's the damage in the back? Was that from here? Everyone seems to be hitting that wall back there.
Yeah. So early on in practice, a lot of dirt got dragged onto the bowl, and I just flicked it into the bowl in one of the early runs and was a passenger and ended up cleaning up the wall pretty hard. So I did a bit of damage to the car, but managed to borrow some spares off Adam Wood and got the car going again. And yeah, now we're sitting all right.
Love the community feel here in SA then. Perfect. All right, well, I wish you the best of luck today, and the car looks stunning regardless of the back damage.
No worries. Thanks, Carly.
Well, isn't it great to see Roger Hans, like we say, so methodical with his car, and he won't be happy about the damage. But that is what we have at the Bend Motorsport Park, is we have some walls and the outer clipping zones there. That's where the judges want to see him. And is that risk if the dust comes along, you lose that grip level, that confidence, and the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to hurt the back of the car. So you're lucky if you can slide it along there. Maybe you're just going to see some paint damage, a bit of livery, lose a back bar, maybe some lights, but it could be a lot worse. Remember, it's a massive right-hand corner that you come into, so huge right-hand corner. Want to see the cars in the middle line, really, like they want to run the wall, come around the corner, and then we sort of comes up to like a 90-degree corner there. So they've got to sort of slingshot through there. Then they've got to transition back the opposite way, and it's you come in there, and the corner actually gets longer as you come out of it. So then you've really got to stand on it and go wide as well there. So it's quite a fast-running circuit. It's going to be good for the cars under power. I suppose the first couple of corners are going to be the technical section, and then it's really get on the power and have some fun. But let's head back down to Carly.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Matt Harvey. He came third in the round 1. And Matt, how do you feel coming into SA? Because you come from Tasmania.
It's a big trip, you know. It's we travel all around Australia at the moment, so it's it's a big trip. Look, round 2 has definitely been a lot of stoppages, so we're kind of trying to figure out how we're going to drive the car properly. But you know, as soon as we get into battles, you know, we'll switch on properly and we'll get it sorted.
Awesome. And how long did it take? You know, everyone saw the incident that happened at round 1. There was a fair amount of damage at the front, but the car's looking amazing now.
Yeah, so it took us a little while. You know, we had to wait for parts and stuff. We've been doing a bit of changes every now and again, so we've got a new gearbox now. So, look, it's a bit of damage, but it's fine. It's a good car, so we should be ready to go.
Yep. And you haven't had any issues the whole time here? I heard the car's pretty well up, pretty good.
No, yeah, we've had a couple of issues here and there, but like we had hitting the rear end before. But no, the car's great now. We practiced it a couple of hours ago, and it's perfect. So I'm ready for battles.
Awesome, getting pumped. All right, we'll see you out there then. Can't wait.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Well, Vango Rapid Repairs are a great supporter of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstar Series, and we know he's up there just on the north coast, up the central coast, up from Sydney, and looks like he's going to have a fair bit of work when the boys get back, I suppose. All those sorts of drivers. I know he supports a lot of cars when it comes to the Hi-Tec Drift Series as well. So, mate, like we keep talking about this damage on the rear of the cars, though, Adam.
Yeah, look, it's a commitment circuit. That turn 1, to carry the momentum and speed into that sort of first clip as it starts to tighten up, you need to carry speed. So it's a horsepower-favoured circuit. But yeah, that wall, if you're not dragging it, you're not going to have the line to get through the first 2 sort of slower corners. So unless you're hitting the wall and dragging the wall, you don't really have the speed and momentum to even make it through. So it's going to be a battle of attrition today. It's going to be who can sort of tippy-toe their way through that corner.
We might go down to Carly once again because she's catching up with all the drivers.
I am down here with all the drivers, but we've got Patrick here with his amazing Corvette. It's carbon fibre and the Kevlar, that's right. Here we go. Now, this thing's beautiful and it's amazing because you can actually, you know, stands out in regards to the JDM, or on top of the JDM. But here, let's go around and have a look at this beautiful thing. Can you tell me a bit about it, Patrick?
Yeah, so this is a C6 Corvette, so around the 2012 age bracket. Yeah, it was home built by my dad and my crew chief Tony in Victoria. And yeah, we're running a 434 cubic inch motor and yeah, obviously dressed up in all the nice and flashy parts.
Awesome. And I heard this car weighs, like the bodywork of this car is like half of me.
Yeah, so the actual whole body kit itself weighs about 38 kilos.
That's insane. And thank you, Dad. Where is he? He's waving over there.
Hiding in the trailer. Yep.
Oh, that's absolutely incredible. But I see some damage at the back. You did a love tap?
Yeah, I found the wall there in the bowl earlier today. Unfortunately, it got a little bit dicey there with the dust on the track, but didn't get in too hard, thankfully.
Yeah, so I couldn't imagine the cost of repairing. But have you got any sponsors here today?
Yeah, just Lux Performance for sorting us out with all the goods over the years. Been great supporters of ours, so big thanks to them.
Oh, incredible. Well, we can't wait to see you out there.
Thank you. We'll see you out there.
See ya.
Yeah, it's great to see Lux Performance getting behind one of the young guns. I know based over in Western Australia, but sells a lot of performance parts to a lot of guys in the Northern Territory, South Australia as well. So good Brent could do that and be on board with Paddy. And a little bit of damage on the back. They'll be able to repair that before the next couple of rounds quite easily. I know that'll go back to the Mule Motorsports stable back in Victoria, where it'll get worked on. The car won't go back to Darwin. It'll stay down here on the East Coast, and Paddy will be doing the travel there. But yeah, up and coming when it comes to the sport. Been doing it for a number of years. Got in the wheel when he was 15, I think. So he's been doing about 5 years now, the drifting. But a big step up there with a Corvette. Runs very similar to an S13 in the back of that thing, but yeah, 900 horsepower in the front, V8 on tap, E85, carburetted, like we say, simple machine there. And you listen to the stories that when that bodywork actually came in, the boxes that held the bodywork together weighed more than the bodywork itself. So they haven't mucked around here. They are going for a pro-style drift car, and they're here to compete.
Yeah, it's certainly a Christmas wish list, that car. Everything that you could think of to build the idealistic drift car, that's it. Carbon, big motor, good gearbox, good lock kit. It is literally, yeah, if you gave a 6-year-old a crayon and said build the ultimate car to go sideways, that's probably what they'd conjure up.
Yeah, and one of the things they've done in the off-season, they put a sequential in. Of course, it had the shifter in it before, but now it's gone a full sequential with the gearbox there. And I do know that he's been working. They've got adjustable sway bars in that car now. They're not allowed to have them in the car. Part of the rules, it's in the back of the car. But just to give them those adjustments that they need, rather than having to get under the car, they can do that when they take the boot off and they work on the car between rounds. So they can adjust. And one of the things I noticed on that, he's not running the big tyres. So you might be running a wide tyre on that one, but there's 17s on the car. So they've got a little bit of a different outlook, I suppose, and that might come from the speedway heritage that he has around him, I suppose, that have some different ideas and things. But whatever he's doing, it's working, and he's number 3 qualifier today.
Yeah, look, they've been around motorsport and dirt racing their whole lives, you know, Pat's old man and whatnot. So they have a very good understanding of grip and speed. So building this Corvette and having it drive as well, as fast and as clinical as it is just testament to years of experience. They know what works.
Here we go, the Z Performance. Skyliner door. Cookie was at the front of that one there, and it looks like he's missing the front end. We won't even know it had a Commodore front end on it, as we see cars starting to warm up out on track here at round number 2 from the Bend Motorsport for the Hi-Tec Drift Allstar Series. You see there the R33. He's normally got, well, basically he's done like very much like the Speedway. You can go and get the street stock style fiberglass front ends. Goes in the front. Very hard to get an R33 front end nowadays. Not quite sure if that is Cookie driving that one, as that looks like our Pro-Am cars. Brian Cruikshank there is our number 1 qualifier, sitting number 1 in the championship as well when it comes to Pro-Am. And that BMW chassis is, well, whatever he's done to that, it's set up really well with the 1.5J in that.
Yeah, it is a gorgeous car. And once again, Brian is very methodical in how he builds and maintains and even drives his cars. So he puts together packages that will run all day long. That way he can turn plenty of laps, and that way he can get very comfortable and very fast real quick.
I'm just going to wait and see there, because I'm just seeing that Damien Cook was meant to be taking on Matt Harvey when it came to the top 16 in the pro class, but he might have been doing some repairs with the amount of car that is missing off the front of that one. Looks like he's going to be in a solo run there, so I think they are just taking that car out for a bit of a solo run, as a bit of a test maybe after some running repairs on it this morning. I did speak to earlier this morning, I suppose very early this morning, and he didn't have that much damage on the car, so I think that's probably happening in practice. And that's that corner where they can't go over and put that wheel in the dirt. I'll be looking for him to come out a little bit wider and give our chase car plenty of room to put the nose in. Really need to stick it to the outer clipping zone there, but it's a high horsepower, and I'm just trying to see if that is actually Damien driving that, or whether he's let someone else get in the wheel there. Just goes across the dirt. Of course, Blink Design on board. Cookie does a lot of our banners and stickers and things like that. If you get your T-shirts done, that's the man who we go and see. Brian Cruikshank we spoke about. There we go, right, and there's an outer clipping zone, filling it all the way. That's just the final corner as they come out there. But that BMW underpower does really, really well. And he's got a new build, actually. He's got an 86 in the build as well. Got a fair bit of work going on with that. Considering daily he builds chassis for drag cars. He works at SCF Race Cars in New South Wales. So I'm sure there's a few little bits welded up under there, a bit of bar work that's probably helping him out.
Oh, definitely, definitely. He knows how to build a strong chassis. His E36 alone is a work of art. You look in there, have a look at all the dimple cut panels that he's put in there. You can definitely tell that, yeah, he puts a lot of hours into this car, and you can tell that he does this day in, day out, because that car is a work of art. And this 86 that he's building, given everything he's learnt from what he's got here, it's going to be a beautiful car, his new car that's in the works.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like I say, he's normally day by day. I think he's about 9 years he's been an SCF race car, so they're building 5-second drag cars. So we'll have to wait and see. Looks like our Pro-Am, though, this might be what we need to get underway in our Pro-Am top 8 battles. I'm seeing Brian Cruikshank. We're taking on Jason Hayden. You can see him in the background there. So it looks like Cruikshank will be in the lead of this one as the BMW takes off. Starts to pull a bit of gap there. Hayden's going to have to try and close this one up. Cruikshank out wide, leaves plenty of room there. Just with the judgment, but goes off onto the dirt. No, both cars. But you're going to get penalised, the lead driver, more here because the car behind you is trying to emulate. So if you go in deep, the car behind also then goes off track. So that's really going to hurt Brian, considering he's leading the series at the moment in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am.
Yeah, and this is going to be a hard one today too. All the drivers are complaining, well, not so much complaining, but they're making note of track conditions constantly changing. You know, you've got a lot of that dirt, a lot of the sand that is constantly blowing across the circuit, so grip levels are always changing. You've got to be a pioneer going into turn 1, and it looks like Brian unfortunately was a pioneer. He obviously tipped in and initiated with grip in mind, and it looks like he just washed out. So let's hope that Jason in his lead can now put on a consistent and solid run. It's up to Brian now to really put the pressure on, having a 0 next to his name. So let's just sit back and watch what unfolds in the next 30 seconds.
So if you just joined us on the live stream, you've never understood drifting, I suppose, before. We're going to try and break it down very quickly before this next run gets underway. You have a lead car and a chase car. The lead car goes out, sets down the line. The chase car has to try and stay door to door, keep that proximity. Then they change over. The chase car becomes a lead car. The lead car becomes a chase car. And it's the same rules. Whoever's in the lead has to lay down the line. Whatever the judges want, where they want the car to be on the track, that's what they got to do. Chase car has to get right up on the door. They're allowed to maybe not have as much angle in the corner, maybe not be on that outer line. They can come in a little bit shallower, but they need to be door to door when it comes down to it. That's how you maximise the points when it comes to the judging. Of course, Dan Mackey, Stewie Bryan and James Dean Martle are the ones watching on there at the Bend Motorsport Park in South Australia, and we'll be taking all the scores down. So we will wait to see them come through on our live sheets. As you can see, it looks like Jason Hayden, though, he's going to be leading us out and after. Brian Cruikshank already gone off the track. Now, how much pressure does Brian put on him? Does he push him into the first corner, really take that speed and be aggressive at him?
Look, knowing Brian, he won't leave anything on the table. He's going to be very livid with himself. I've driven a lot with him, and I know exactly what will be going on under that visor right now. He's just going to hope that Jason puts down a very solid initiation into turn 1, because I can assure you Brian's going to be on his heels.
Here we go, Jason Hayden now in the lead run. Cruikshank not leaving as big a gap. He's pushing on. Have to commit this first corner. Hayden, though, gets the car through. Probably not as wide as the judges would like, but he hasn't gone off the track. Cruikshank goes wide again.
Bugger.
That's not going to be what he wanted there. And it looks like Jason Hayden, although it's not the perfect line out in front, he's keeping it on track.
It does look very slippery, so there is a very good chance that track conditions are a little bit different to what they experienced last time they were turning some laps.
His last corner, though, as they come around, you can see Cruikshank's car really gripped up there. Hayden drives away. Nice line in the back half of that run. Jason Hayden, though, keeps it on track, and that's going to be a huge advantage when it comes to the scoring. We'll have to wait and see what the judges do, but here's a replay, all thanks to our sponsors, the Trias Tyres replay. Hayden there gets it out in that outer line, not running the wall too closely, playing a little bit safe, I think, knowing that he doesn't have to do a perfect lead run.
That's it. He can play it safe knowing that Brian, his competitor, had a 0. He's obviously now tiptoeing around, seeing where the grip is or isn't, because the last thing he wants to do is also give a 0. 1, that'll give a rerun, but 2, that's an advantage he doesn't want to be given to Brian. So turning a good lap now. Looks like he's strong on the inside clip. He's just got to stay on the loud pedal to cross the finish line, and he's done enough, I think. Yeah, noticing there, he did still leave enough room if Cruikshank wanted to get his nose in. So I have to wait and see if the official scores come in, though. Judging by what happened, though, in that first corner when Cruikshank was leading, we would think that the scores would go to Jason Hayden, but we'll wait for our official document to be uploaded and just to confirm that as we look at our next couple of competitors starting to make their way out onto the track. We'll have to see who this is coming up and who is going to lead us out in this next battle. And I reckon this might be, this might be Kurt Penrose Starr and Kieran Ratcliffe. Kurt Penrose Starr was actually all thanks to Zoo Performance at the Drift SA, got himself an opportunity to compete in the Pro-Am, so they've actually given him the opportunity. They paid for him to come to this one. So Zoo Performance, once again, trying to promote those up-and-coming drifters and get them involved in the big series like the Hi-Tec Drift Allstar Series. As we watch them take off, see the sleeker spares on the side. It's going to be an SA Cup showing that is Kurt. Watch him go into the first corner there. A little bit of a scan, though. Sticks it out wide. Very confident on the track with this one, but just washes off a heap of angle and
just looks like Kieran there may have had to try to not make contact. He's gone off the track. Kicks up a heap of dust as well. That's, like you say, that's not going to help for the next run.
No, definitely. And it did look like Kieran did once again have lack of grip. It looked like he did wash off. Kurt, however, looked very comfortable on that initiation. He was very aggressive on the turn in, so he was just going along for the ride. It'll be interesting now to see what happens on the lead and chase when it's swapped around. Kieran is out there. It looks like he's got some issues. He's signalling to the support crew. Hopefully he can get that car turned around for the battle.
Yeah, as we check out our Trias Tyres replay. Seems to go no drama there. He just really throws it down. Not afraid there, Kurt Penrose star. And considering it was only last week at Drift SA, he got his opportunity to be in here, and he's qualified 4th. So he's qualified 4th there today. Doing a nice job here on the start, taking on Kieran Ratcliffe. Now, remembering Kieran there, obviously, was, well, he qualified 5th. So they should be fairly evenly matched when it comes to this. There wasn't too many points in it when it came to qualifying there. You hear him just stabbing the clutch at this point. But local track knowledge is probably an advantage here, the South Aussies.
Oh, look, it'll always be very much an advantage. Feeling comfortable takes a weight off the shoulders. You know you can just focus on getting the job done because you've driven the track before. We just hope here now that though Kieran though can get whatever's going on. That car doesn't look like it's running at all, so I'm not sure if he's going to get towed. This might give the advantage straight through to Kurt.
Look, you've got to be happy. Lots of work going on in the background here. Of course, we are in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am, and Zoo do have a couple of things going on this weekend because, look, they love supporting the Pro-Am series, and don't forget they do have a discount code up on their website for this weekend. It's HT10, so HT10. If you want to get on there, if you want to go to Zoo and check out all of their performance products. I mean, they're doing everything nowadays. They've got steering wheels, toe straps, harnesses, fuel lines, intakes, throttle bodies. I mean, whether you've got an import car and a V8, you know, you've got the LS style, they've pretty much got everything you need, even Winters diffs. They've got the gearboxes now as well in stock. So go to Zoo Performance, check them out with all their products, try and support them because they're supporting this up-and-coming drift category in the Pro-Am series here at the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars. Yeah,
no, Zoo are great supporters of what we do. They are drifters and enthusiasts just like us. And yeah, you genuinely can open up a Zoo catalogue and almost build a car from start to finish, given everything that they offer and supply. Great to have them on board.
Yeah, they're definitely churning out some quality stuff. We had a few of their products here in Sydney. Well, that would have been 18 months ago even then, and you look down the fuel rails there and the machining was fantastic. You know, the quality of the gear was really good. So go check them out. Don't forget we've got harness your way to first place in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am as well. But right now we're going to head down to Carly Bell.
Hey guys, here we are with Nathan Greenhill. The R32s are ready on a trailer. Nathan, what's happened?
Unfortunately, suffered an engine failure. The rod has left the chat, and yeah, my day's over. And
that's what's not as meant to. It's not meant to look like that.
No, definitely not. This is supposed to be inside the motor.
So you don't know where the other 2 bolts and the rest of the bearing and everything's gone?
I think it's somewhere out in the track, but yeah, my day's over, unfortunately.
Oh, what a shame. And, you know, especially you coming out here, being your first time at the Hi-Tec, you know, you're really looking forward to it. Just a shame, isn't it?
I've honestly done everything I can to prepare to be here. It's a brand new motor. This is the second event. We've been meticulous about it all day, checking oil levels, water, temperatures, and unfortunately, this is motorsport. These things happen. So not sure where from here, but we'll work it out and be back at the next one.
Yeah, we'll hope to see you at round 2, and I wish you all the best luck because I know how hard that is now. I have to take it all out, rebuild another engine, go back through it again, and also obviously the money spent on it as well, so it's shocking. Well, back to you guys.
I tell you what, it's not good when we hear about Uncle Rodney coming to visit. That's not what we want to hear.
No, it's never good when he knocks on the door because it's always dollar bills that follow and ensue. It is a shame. Look, but it's motorsport. As he said himself, we know the risks involved when we turn those cars on. You can just see the way they're getting driven. They are not getting driven lightly. You know, we're not driving to church on a Sunday. We are driving as hard as we can. So unfortunately, this is just part and parcel with motorsport.
Yeah, and look, the pressures that they put under, especially when the cars are transition, the oil moves over, different setups, not quite sure if he's got the wet sump or the dry sump. There's so many factors that can play a part of it. It's really hard, though, when you've got a fresh engine in there. You've done minimal amount of laps in it, but like we say, we're pushing them hard. They're putting a lot of boost into them nowadays, too. We're not the stock 8 or 9 pounds that you used to see back in the day come out of them. We're not winding up to 14 or 15 pound. We're putting 20-plus pound into these cars now, and they're going out there and doing lap after lap after lap. We might check out a Trias Tyres replay very quickly, though, and looks like Kieran Ratcliffe has some major damage to the car. We'll check it out. Lead there was Kurt Penrose Star, though, as you can see, throws it down. Kieran Ratcliffe there just comes down.
Looks like he may have just made contact with the right rear of Kurt's car. I'm not sure if it's broken steering, but it looks like he has a lot of opposed opposite lock once he washes off into the dirt. It's a bit hard to see from that angle.
Yeah, you can see the wheel moving around a bit though. I could just grab the wheel moving around there, so there could be some broken components in there as well, and we'll have to wait and we'll just find out because Carly's down there in the pit. She'll be walking around, but let's catch up with her now.
I'm standing next to Adam Wood with his beautiful lime green R chassis. Oh, it's close. Yeah, it's nice to see a four-door R34 out here. Adam, this is your hometown as well, and how used are you with this track out here? How comfortable are you with it?
Yeah, pretty comfortable. It is very daunting, that first corner, especially throwing it in so fast, but with the semis, which we haven't really done here before with the State Series, it's actually pretty good. You've got to feel like you're about to fly off the track without flying off the track to actually get it and nail it. So, yeah, the outer clip is really good.
Yeah, just got to put that foot down, go back right into the inner bowl. Yeah. Excellent. And can you tell me a bit about your R34? You've got an RB25 Neo, RB25 30. Sorry, I've got that there in the end.
Yeah, so RB30 bottom end, G30 770 turbo. Yeah, it's great. I like the grunt of the 30, so it's powerful. It does what it needs to. The torque's great. It's got a GSR dog box as well, which it's really nice. It's a good combo. It does what it needs to, and yeah, hopefully I don't break it, but I probably just jinx myself.
That's usually the way, isn't it? Well, tell me a bit also about how the car's been acting up. A bit of yesterday had a little bit of trouble. Yeah,
so just a bit of heat soak. It is pretty warm here. For all the guys at home, it is overheating, a bit of heat soak, although the guys are saying very similar things as well. Hopefully we got it sorted. I got Tom from Custom Imports going through it on the laptop for me and just changing some parameters on some settings, and yeah, hopefully we can get that sorted out, and I might do a 6th lap today for the weekend, so we'll see how we go.
Yeah, so have you got any sponsors you want to throw in there?
Yeah, GK Tech, they've always looked after me. It's really great running their product, and I'm sure you'll see, hopefully I can show you exactly what it does entering turn 1. Sleeker Spares have always supplied tyres for me, and I've always got my race parts from them. They've got a website online as well, which is really great. Tom, you guys helping me out. I can't thank you guys enough. Brenton from Forsmore for tuning it. Without all of that, I wouldn't really be here because it wouldn't be holding up like it is.
A lot of support with the car. Well, look, we're looking forward to see you out there. Being a local, you're going to be great.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Well, I think we stuck two of the brightest cars together there, didn't we? We've got Adam Wood's green car, and in the background we've got Jason Ferrin's bright purple R31 wagon.
Yeah, I don't think I can see now. I needed sunnies on for that. But beautiful cars, good attention to detail. Looking at Adam Wood's 34, that is a gorgeous car and very well built. Looks very responsive. Definitely what you need around a high-speed circuit like this.
Yeah, and the RB30 bottom, like I say, torque is valuable when it comes to drifting, especially with the changing conditions. Let's have a talk. You mentioned there about changing over to the semi-slicks. They don't normally run the semis when it comes to the local series. Now, from a street tyre to a semi-slick, you've got more experience than me in this, but run us through how the car changes when you stick those grippier tyres on.
The biggest thing to go from a street to a semi-slick is obviously the grip. You know, that's why we do it. You want to have side bite and you want to have drive. They're the two fundamentals to drifting. Side bite allows you to have control while sideways. Drive allows you to accelerate while sideways, push the car forward. So a lot of these guys are used to the street tyres where they can be in 3rd or 4th gear, you know, high RPMs, wheel spin. The car's a little bit free. Transitions nice and quick. But when you put a semi-slick on, your aggression level in driving has got to be turned up to 11, you know. You've got speed that you didn't have before. You've got momentum you didn't have before. So you've just got to basically do everything in fast forward, essentially.
Really, you just got to lay it on the line, and it's very hard. We've seen so much damage already so far, but yeah, big change going over those semi-slicks. Right now, though, let's head back down to Carly.
I'm standing next to Jason from Keep It Re with his R31 Barra. How beautiful does that thing look in there? Tell us a bit about it.
So as you can first see, it's nice and shiny. So that's a very good point. That's what the main focus of this whole car was, to be nice and shiny. So the Barra, we just figured we'd give it a shot. It's a sort of unknown. Not too many people have used it for drift yet, but it's doing us well. It's pretty much a standard motor with all the bolt-on stuff. It's freshened up, making 580 kilowatt, and she's proving to do its job quite nicely this weekend.
Perfect. And you've got a bit of experience at this track already. Does that give you feel like you get a bit of an advantage over the other interstate guys?
So yeah, I've done some of the other rounds, some of the other series, and it's been good. But yeah, the grippy tyres, I mean, yeah, now having the power to push some grippy tyres, it's definitely a game changer. Changes line and everything. So it was good to get that practice in yesterday, ready to slay it today.
Yep, and this is a fairly new build to you as well, so you're getting used to the change setup, the steering setup as well?
100%. So we've got Stewie's Acostal set up. Get off my face, Flo. And we're so we've been playing around with that a lot.
There's a lot of flies around. It's hot and there's a lot of flies, so we're all...
The SA flies always trying to land on my eyeball. So we've got Stewie's Acostal set up, and we've been playing with it a lot. So slowly been getting it dialed in. Feeling pretty good. So, yeah.
Perfect. Well, we're really looking forward to see this thing out there. It's beautiful colour, by the way.
Thank you, thank you.
Look, he's a happy man. Recently got married as well, so he's been busy. Normally doing the Keep It Reet series as well. They like to take it off the streets here in Victoria and do it in some safe places. So not only is he running his own drift series, he's got a YouTube channel going on. He's building cars. He's just got married, and he's made it to round number 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars.
He's definitely got a lot on his plate. And look, genuinely, if he wants to win battles this weekend with ease, take that bonnet off and just let that chrome rocker cover blind his opposition. That is a shiny, damn shiny motor.
I saw that in actually doing some things a couple of weeks ago, and he put on some tough battles there with Bogger O'Grady actually in Victoria. So he's definitely got everything he needs to make it happen. It's probably getting a bit more comfortable behind the car, and we know he's got some upcoming competitions with that as well. So maybe he's just trying not to put too many dents in that beautiful shiny paint job before he gets around some of the country there. But they do like to travel with that car, like to get on. Remember in round number 1 10 months ago when we were at Winton, that he was actually driving his brown R33. So he's changed cars now, the 31, the wagon. It's going to be a little bit different, and he's gone over to those Tri-Ace tyres. He's gone to Formula R, so of course you can get them at the Hi-Tec Motorsport tyres. Of course, that's if you want to get them. The Hi-Tec are actually doing the Tri-Ace tyres and the R1, so trying them out seems to be quite content with them at the moment. Talking to him previously to this weekend, they were liking the changes on the car, and it's good to see he's gone with the Acostal steering as well. So Stewie Bryant, one of our judges, makes that in Australia, designs it down here. So it's good to see he's sort of keeping that in the Australian sort of theme and making that happen for him. But let's head back down and catch up with Carly once again.
Hey guys, I'm standing next to Mickey Moo, and Mickey, this isn't your car. What's going on?
No, this isn't my car. I had dramas yesterday with the clutch, and the boys worked all yesterday evening, and we put a new clutch in it. But when we started this morning, same thing. So I don't know. I'm not going to risk another clutch. So I put that car out, and then I got into this one, and cut a couple of laps. Wasn't going too bad until they come around the last turn. And I clipped the tyres with the back quarter, spit me around. I don't really remember much, but I heard it was a pretty big crash.
How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, I was a bit shaken up earlier when you came to see me, but yeah, come back to my old self now. But, yeah.
Oh, and how's it? Have you gone back out there since the boys have straightened it up?
No, I haven't, but yeah, Cookie had a hoe.
Yeah.
And I think the only trouble he has is with the battery. So we're going to put a new battery in it, and the thing is back straight. I'm surprised that it's as straight as it is.
We're very, very lucky that Damien is be able to get out there and still drive his car after what happened.
Yeah, really happy for him. I hope he goes well. Now he's up against Matt Harvey, so we'll see how he goes.
Yeah, well, we're sorry about what happened with your car as well. You know, these things happen, unfortunately. You just can't predict them, hey?
No, we'll be back. We'll be back at Winton in a couple of weeks, pushing hard.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait to see you out there again, so wish you all the best of luck. Thanks, guys.
No luck of the Irish there for Mickey Moo. I mean, he's been working hard. He got rid of the 2J actually in the off-season and has gone the big V8 at Jouar Performance. So good news that for Aaron Jouar is that his motor's still going strong. It's just the clutch that has not held up, which has probably come down to the RPM and the power that it's putting out now.
Yeah, look, it'll be a totally different beast to drive. I was lucky enough to watch that car on its first drive earlier this year with the big motor in there, and it is a monster. So kudos to Mickey for, one, being able to handle it, but two, look, they're going to have some little gremlins. They're going to have little niggles. As long as he can iron them out now and have a strong end of the season, I think it'll be all right. But
well, it kind of reminds me of round 1, number 1, because he actually borrowed the car off Cookie then too, from memory, at Winton, because the same thing happened with the 2J. Had some issues there, so he managed to get out of the car. Damien Cook's lent him the car there to get into it, and I think there's a lot of banter going on about getting a V8, and now he's actually done that. He's gone and got the extra cylinders. He's gone down the naturally aspirated route. So it's pretty funny to see there, Mickey Moo, obviously, and a champion there from the Zoo Performance, Damien Cook. Right now, though, let's head back down to Carly.
I'm just standing next to Glenn Omerod with his FD86. Tell us a bit about it.
It's a 2J86. Me, Dad, and a couple of friends built it, so it's a awesome car.
I know that's a dream for a lot of people to put a 2J in an FD86. And was that built at home with your friends?
Yeah, Dad's got a workshop, so yeah, built it with a lot of help from Bo Yates. So yeah, it's been really good.
It looks amazing, by the way. It's a really clean setup. Looks great.
Yeah, thank you.
And how are you finding the track out there today?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty difficult with all the sand that gets brought onto the track. But yeah, we're coping with it and we'll keep going.
Have you had any issues, major issues?
Nah, we're pretty good here.
Yeah, just waiting. No, the nerves are cranking up, and I'm sure you're ready to go out there. So, well, great to see you here, and we can't wait.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Glenn really stepping it up after he was in the Pro-Am series in previous competitions with that little 13B powered KE70, non-turbo, of course. So, you know, that thing used to get around and scream, but he had to really get into the power, had tiny tyres on it. Now he stepped up to a big build there, and he did mention Bo Yates, and that car is so similar.
Oh, the R&D that Bo did for that FT86 chassis over the past sort of 7, 8, 9 years. You know, Glenn sort of hit the ground running with it. He's learned a lot from, you know, what Bo did and pioneered. So that is a very well set up car. Glenn's a very good driver. I've battled with him a lot in his old KE. And it looks like he's got his head around this car now. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens once the year progresses. Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see how he goes. I'm just trying to have a look who he's going to be paired up against in the Pro. We might just have a quick look at that one there. So he is going to come up. Glenn Omerod is going to get through because he was meant to take on Mo Hawley, but unfortunately Mo Hawley with engine dramas. The big turbo LS is not going to make it through. So he is going to get himself in the top 8 there, which is a good start for him. Right now, though, let's head back down to our Zoo Performance Pro-Am category. We always love seeing a big Toyota out on track. That's what we like to see. Sam Mudge is going to be taking on Bo Gagliardi. Sam Mudge, obviously, from the Murray River Motorsports, now on board. He's got the RB20 built by Juar Engines in the background, the red S13. And that thing's going to have to be up screaming. You know, you think of an RB20, only 2 litres of bottom end. It's going to have to really keep the RPM up to keep it in that power range. So he's got a fair bit of work to do. Now, they were working on this one. They were looking for brake lines, drive shaft, a rear drive shaft as well. So they did a fair bit of damage to this one yesterday.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been a easy night. I'm sure there's not a lot of hours slept between him and the team. But look, the car's ready. It's lining up for battle. Let's just see what happens in the next sort of 30 to 45 seconds, because I'm sure it's all going to be worth it.
Bo Gagliardi, though, listen to that.
It's a very angry car, that one.
Yeah, it is. It's angry. Look at it. Big too. You know, it's got to be a bit ominous when you're alongside of it. It's just got that huge stance about it. We'll wait to see if he's going to throw this one down. How fast is he going to risk into that first turn? We have seen it. You go in there, a little bit of dust has come across the track, and that's where the risk is. Does it get dustier? Do you lose that grip? Remembering the Pro-Am guys aren't always on the semis. They might be running the big street tyres. Here we go. Thumbs coming up from both drivers. Here we go. You see the lead driver has to go through the chicane just so they can't drag race along. But look at the power of this. The 8-cylinder monster throws it down. Sam Mudge needs to chase this one down. He can sacrifice that line like he does. Starts to close that proximity up. Look at Bo, though. Stalls it out. Stalls it out on the corner. Doesn't make it around to that second. Well, it's really like a third apex. You've got double apex there, and then you go into that second corner, and he stalls it out first. So Sam Mudge obviously able to then get off the power and not make contact.
Once again, it's just a pioneering battle here. All these guys are out on their expeditions. Grip or no grip, it's very hard to determine what each corner is going to bring for these guys. But it looks like that was just a long flowing corner. He may have just lost a little bit of rear grip mid-corner, and it's just sent the car into a place where it doesn't want to be, and that's no man's land.
Let's check it out in the Tri-Ace Tyres replay there, and look at the power. He just stands on it, goes through the gears, probably gets it up into 4th gear, I'm going to say here, and then gets it out towards the wall, runs that line out wide. I'm just going to watch carefully here. He's got a little bit of lock staggered on, goes past the second apex, and I wonder whether that's just a bit of dust on the outside track and the rear of the cars come around. He's really had to turn that lock on.
Yeah, it looks like he's sort of tried to get into that first little inner clip to make it through the midpoint of the corner, and the car's just not had the grip that he wanted.
Let's change it over now. Mudge is going to lead us away here in the Murray River Motorsports car. Not quite as fast there. He doesn't have the speed as he takes off, but keeps on the line. Bo Gagliardi, though, close that proximity up for a second.
Sam Mudge has just got to focus on getting from point to point now. He's got the advantage, so we've just got to make sure that he gets his way safely around the track.
He's really trying to fill those outer clipping zones that the judges were looking for. Oh, no, as he goes off, grabs a heap of dust, and the bar comes off. Gagliardi just gets on the power and smokes the tyres in the background.
Sort of a David and Goliath battle. You've got a car that has about 1,000 megawatts, and then you've got Sam's car that still a very stout motor, but unfortunately on a high-speed track is very, very behind the 8 ball. We watch here on the replay. You can see Bo is very much having to judge his speed to make sure he doesn't overdrive into the first corner. Has to check up a little bit, just purely once again on a horsepower advantage. And just watch here, Sam's just off, trying to stick to the qualifying line. Loses his rear bar, bit of weight saving there.
Bar goes out of the way. Gagliardi there just gets on the power in the back. He's putting a show on for the crowd that you can see up on the hill.
They were probably a brand new set of tyres before that battle too, and now they're down to belts.
You wouldn't be able to do a rerun, I reckon, in that car. If you're doing a back-to-back run like that, a lead and a chase, there's no chance that you are going to get a rerun out of those. Just getting through some information, it looks like maybe Kieran Ratcliffe, that we saw up on screen before, we said had some tyre issues, might be a steering rack in that car, but we're just waiting to hear on the judge's decision to whether the contact was made there and whether it was caused by him or the lead driver in Kurt Penrose's Star, because that might give him the opportunity to get into another car. I am hearing that possibly he is going to borrow a car and come back out and continue in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am category as well. So that's some great news to hear that's starting to come through. Can't thank them enough, of course, the Zoo Performance, for getting on board with the Pro-Am series. Remembering our first place are going to get themselves a Zoo harness here this weekend. Second prize will be a Zoo steering wheel, and then our third prize will be a Zoo hat and toaster. Don't forget, if you go to HT10, you go to the website, HT10 is the promo code this weekend. Get in there only this weekend. Get yourself a little bit of a bargain when it comes to the Zoo Performance products. What a fantastic supporters of drifting in Australia at the moment. Remembering, it doesn't mean you've got to get your safety gear there. They've got fuel rails, turbos now. They're starting to get into the turbo ranges, silicon pipes, dash fittings. You know, all those lines in your car, they start to add up when you put braided lines through your car. It can add up into the thousands of dollars. So if you can get yourself a little bit of help there, now's the time to get on to Zoo Performance. Great supporters of the Pro-Am category and the up-and-coming drifters. So many people on a hot day here in South Australia at the Ben Motorsport Park. We're enjoying the studio, aren't we, Adam? It's a bit more climate controlled here. Part of the Hi-Tec Drift Australia. Don't forget to go on Facebook and like us. If you haven't already, go to Facebook. Make sure you click the like page. Follow us on Twitter. Everything that's coming on the social media. Remembering that round number 3 will be from Winton, the 7th and 8th of May, which isn't too far away. So 7th and 8th of May will be round number 3, coming from Winton Motor Raceway. We go back there where we all started off in 2021. We've had 10 months without drifting, but it's good now that we've sort of got a bit of a run back on. It looks like the world's coming back to a bit of normality. And of course, we head up to Queensland as well throughout this series. We get to go up into the tropics there and enjoy a little bit of humidity. When it's winter down south in July, we get to head up there and a bit warmer. And then we come back down here and we go back to Sydney, really the home of Hi-Tec Drift Australia, go out onto the Sydney Motorsport Park, and it's going to be a huge party to finish off the season, what has been extended from 2021 and 2022. So we can't wait to get there and just throw an absolutely massive party. As you can see, Kurt Penrose's Star is already out on track, ready to do the chase run. Came out in the lead there, and I do believe we're waiting on the judging there from Kieran Ratcliffe to see what is going to happen. Looks like he is going to borrow a car and get back out there. Just getting some of our results up there. Looks like Jason Hayden has won the battle between him and Brian Cruikshank, which we're not really surprised about. Brian Cruikshank went off very early in that run, so he went off the track in his lead run. Having a look between Bo Gagliardi and Sam Mudge. Sam Mudge has got the win there, and that'll be that stalling that we saw on the lead run from Bo Gagliardi that really hurt him in the points. As we slow him down, then I'm just trying to see, is that...
Looks like Damien Chianti's car, but I wonder if that has been the car given to Kieran to do the battle in.
I think it is if it's out on track. So he's not having a good run this weekend.
No.
You'd be nervous to lend him a car right now, wouldn't you?
Well, look, hopefully it's of no fault of his own, but once again, as we've been saying and reiterating, drifting is a very aggressive sport. You know, these cars cop an absolute beating. If Damien has lent that car to Kieran, hats off to you, mate. That is a very generous thing to do, but just looks like today's not his day, unfortunately.
If you don't know too much about drifting, you'll see on the rims there, we've got a sticker, I suppose, or a paint mark on the rims. It really stands out. It has to be something that clashes with the colour of the rim there. Now, some of that is so the judges can actually see what you're doing with the handbrake, how much you're modulating it, how much you're using it to drag the car around. Because they don't mind you using it, I suppose, to steer the car, the handbrake, but they don't want you getting on the handbrake for long periods of time just to drag it in. So we use that as a bit of a mark. It's very easy to see. You won't see it when the car's at full speed, but when the guys grab the handbrake coming to the corner, you can really tell when the rim stops. So it's an advantage for the judges to see from a distance.
It's more just to even out gameplay. and gamesmanship, making sure that everybody is driving as hard as they can, make sure there's no foul play. You know, that's it. We don't want those mid-quarter stalling or mid-corner stopping where you try to catch the chase driver off and make them check up. It's really just to make sure, yeah, we are driving as hard as we can at all times, and it's the best visual representation cue. If something is stopped and that fluoro is standing stationary, you know, you're either doing something right if it's a big entry, or you're doing something wrong if it's mid-corner.
Well, it's very simple, isn't it, for the judges there to see, which is an advantage there, as it looks like our next two Zoo Performance Pro-Am cars are now making it out on track. And it looks like Matt Murphy and Nathan Ranson now is going to be hitting the Team Blast boys. Matt Murphy's doing quite well when it comes into the series. I know he's a little bit down when it comes to the points, currently sitting in 13th position after round number 1. Didn't quite go his way at Winton Motor Raceway, as there he just locks up the front brake. But out of the ACT, from the Canberra region there, the Team Blast, we've got the bright colours on. I know they've been into Vango repairs to get those done, the whole team there, and I'm sure the boys from Canberra will be watching at home this weekend, and if they're not already there with Matt and enjoying the Bend Motorsport Park. I like how he's colour-coded the rims too. He's got the pink on the back to go with it, Matt Murphy.
It's definitely very much a showman's car, and Matt does live up to the hype. He drives a heck of a lot. He drives very aggressively, so that colour and design very much suits who he is as well as a driver. He's all show, he's all go, so yeah, no, it's fitting for him.
And I'm pretty sure until recently this was still a Rego plates on. They might take him off for this weekend, but here you go. Matt Murphy leads away. Nathan Ranson, a bit of a stall there on the start line. Maybe some issues there. Murphy there takes off, gets it out, leaving plenty of room now for Nathan Ranson to try and close down that proximity. Nathan, make this corner.
He's just got to be careful now not to overdrive Nathan, just to try and chase up on Matt. Matt's going to have a good little battle on his hands, focusing on the lead line, but Nathan's actually done a very good job to keep up. He's very much driven a slightly shallower line, but his car's got very good speed.
It's going to be interesting when we change over the lead run. Here we go. Murphy finishes this one off. And Ranson there, he managed to close that proximity down. That was super impressive. There's something happened at the start. I'm not quite sure whether he missed it. He stalled the car. We'll check this out on the Tri-Ace Tyres replay. There you see. Yeah, something happened.
A little bit of a balk. It looked like it happened a little bit too quick for it to be a stall. The motor looked like, well, could have just been a quick little slip of the clutch, but he has done a stellar job to pull 4 to 5 car lengths back on Matt. Matt's got a very fast R33, so we'll see what this battle does now.
Well, let's have a look at the speed of Ranson now. Can he take it to Matt Murphy there? Takes it out in the lead this time. Matt Murphy's going to have to try and stick it on his door if he wants to maximise points. Ranson, no issue there, going out on the high side. Ooh. Oh, on the handbrake. He's in very close in that corner, and that's going to take him offline, hurt him in the points.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a check up there, getting between corners, which stalled himself and Matt on the chase. But let's just see how the end of this run follows up. Got plenty of loud pedal, plenty of smoke. Get that inside and just stay on the noise. Matt's just getting absolutely swallowed up by smoke right now, but he's probably loving every minute of it.
I think he enjoys any day that he's at the track and just doing drifting. We'll have to watch the replay on this one, all thanks to Tri-Ace Tyres. We check this. Ranson takes away. Now, we're seeing this, the most technical part of this track is the first couple of corners. It's this big, long sweep where you get out wide along the wall, you throw it down. Now, he's got that line at that point, but again, you see how much lock he's had to turn on, and it stalls the car speed out.
Yeah, he sort of looked like he lost a little bit of speed mid-corner, which dragged him into the inside point of that little adjoining corner. So I think he would have wanted to carry a little bit more speed through. He may have just been checking up a little bit because it could have been a slightly slipperier surface to what he was used to. So he played it safe and pulled a bit of speed out. And it looks like the grip may have been there. And it sort of, you know, shot him in the foot a little bit. But he did a fantastic job to finish off the run. Matt did a very good job to stay in the chase and judge everything that was happening ahead of him.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it goes between Matt Murphy and Nathan Ranson, and we'll wait for the judges' scores to come in because that one's going to be a tight one there. Ranson, unfortunately, yeah, something at the start in the chase run, but they're always looking at the lead run. That's what the judges are focusing on. You need to do a good lead run. If you don't supply that good lead run for the chase driver, then that's really going to hurt your scores. So if we've got uneven lead runs, that's probably where the advantage is going to go to the driver that does the better one. As we check out the Tri-Ace replay once again, Nathan Ranson, we'll see if we can dissect this just a little bit more. He carries a high speed there. Matt Murphy doesn't let him get away, though. But you're right, it just sort of grips up there for a second. Maybe just gets off. You see him grab the handbrake there when he knows he's not going to make the corner.
Yeah, he may have, that's it, just judged the track on being a little bit slipperier than what it was. And as a byproduct, unfortunately lost a little bit of mid-corner speed, but he did a good job to reconcile. Matt did a good job as well to watch what was happening in front of him, to keep a safe distance to then be able to follow on with the battle.
Yeah, and I think, like you've got to lay it down at this point. The problem is you've got, in the last run there, you had to catch up to Matt Murphy. So you go, mate, I've got to stand out on this one. I'm going to have to try and lose him. I'm going to put all the speed down. I'm going to lay it down really and see if Matt can keep up. And, that's a bit of a risk too when you just drive a bit beyond, I suppose, where the car's comfortable and you push on. And we can see officially that Matt Murphy has got the win on that over Nathan Ransom. Matt Murphy will go through to the top 4 of our Zoo Performance Pro-Am, and Kurt Penrose Star will also go into the top 4, which he qualified in number 4 as well. So he's going to go through to the top 4, and that's because we're not going to get Kieran Ratcliffe back. He's retired the car. So he's had 2 cars and both of them now retired. But our pros are coming out next, and it looks like we're going to be into our pro top 16, and we've only got a couple of battles in this one. It's going to be very interesting, obviously, because Brody Mayer, no one to battle in this one. James Abbott's going to be taking on Scott Shembry, which we're going to see first off. See who will go into the next round, and then it's going to be Roger Ianson taking on Adam Wood. Mo O'Hooley and Glenn Omerod. Well, Mo O'Hooley is already out with some engine damage, so he won't be coming. Glenn Omerod's going to get the free pass into the next round of the top 8. Dale Campaign also, because he qualified number 2, will give himself a free run. Matt Harvey will take on Damien Cook, and we've seen the damage that Cookie's got on that car. It's going to be hard for him one. Patrick Barley, well, qualified number 3, good advantage. Here we go. James Abbott going to lead us out. Scott Shembry, the Hi-Tec Waves unit, side by side, and they're in their first battle. See who's going to go in the top 8. Shembry there. You can hear the anti-lag there for James Abbott. Slows it down on this corner, though.
Oh, unlucky.
The boys will have some great banter tonight, no matter what happens between this one. But we'll see James Abbott go wide. Scott Shembry there, chasing him down there in the 350Z. And Nigella, who gets 15, throws some angle on there, but has to straighten it up. It washes off a high of the speed.
Definitely looks like it's just a challenging afternoon. Track conditions are forever changing. These guys are all going out there, tipping the car in, and they're all just hoping for the best. Is the track going to be gripped up? Is the track going to be slippery? It looks like it is a battle, and the person who gets the luckiest line is going to win.
Yeah, the Trias Tyres replay there, you can see. Let's just throw the car out there, maybe a little bit of handbrake there from James Abbott, but it's always coming around to this second corner there. I'd love to see the other angle, but he just overshoots that corner, doesn't he? Slides the car out of the dirt. Shembry really didn't have much choice here. He had to cut down in on the inside line. Shembry has to reset himself. James Abbott just gets on with it. And just checking through here, you can see how much angle. It's really a whole heap of side bite there.
There is. But look, it would have been very hard to concentrate and understand where you're going when you've got 2 big turbos strapped to a V8 right behind you. Very hard and very easy to have a quick lap of concentration when you've got a freight train plowing down behind you.
Well, the question is, Shembry's already run the back of this car along the wall. Had no dramas whatsoever, as it looks like we are sending the cars back. Our starter there. Shembry, maybe some issues. I'm just waiting to hear if possibly something going on with the car is being sent back. Yesterday, throughout qualifying and practice, he actually did smash a rim in that car as well. But it looks like James Abbott being sent. Maybe someone calling 5 minutes to check something out. Possibly. We know we can have a 5-minute call. So basically, if you've joined us for drifting, is that if one of the drivers calls 5 minutes, I'll have 5 minutes to go back, repair that car and get it back out on track, knowing that Scott Shembry had a few dramas yesterday, and I'm not quite sure what they did in the background, whether it was fuel or spark, but they were working on the car apart from the little bit of damage they sustained at the back end. So he's had a couple of issues there. Big horsepower monster, and they've only just thrown that engine back in this week as well. So putting things together late isn't always good. So the Bonnie Electrical, of course, we can see our number 1 qualifier, Brody Mayer, now hits us out on track, and he's going to get a solo run. That's the beauty about being number 1 when we've got uneven numbers. Of course, the higher you are up the rankings when it comes to qualifying, the less likely you are going to be to have someone to battle if we don't quite have those full amount of cars. And we have seen a few that have retired due to mechanical issues this weekend, which is very unfortunate. Always happens when you come back, especially if you haven't been able to be in these battle conditions, I suppose, the last 10 months. You can go and do these test days back to back, but battle conditions, heat of the day, sticking to a time schedule too. You don't have that time where the car cool all the way down. And that's when we start to see the differences where the cars can take the pressure that they're placed under as well. It looks like we are sending out a whole heap of our pro cars, all thanks to the Hi-Tec oils. The Drift Allstar Series here, round number 2 at the Ben Motorsport Park. Roger Ianson there up on screen. And I was speaking about borrowing some parts to the back end of this car together. We noticed it had a little bit of a scrape there on the wall. They'll be getting the slide hammer out on that, I reckon, after this weekend.
Yeah, duct tape will hold it together for this for this run, but it will need a little bit of TLC in the coming weeks.
Let's head down to Carly.
James Abbott, how was that run? You got a pretty issues with the car?
The whole thing was a disaster. That was all a bit embarrassing. Scott's car's cutting out. Mine was understeering. I was kind of all over the shop, and yeah, I'm hoping he's called 5 minutes, which he's entitled to do to try to get the car sorted, and hopefully he can go out and put on a bit of better show than that mess.
So you're definitely going back out there. How this car is? You're not using your 5 minutes?
Nah, I'm just gonna send it.
Just send it, enjoy it, and have fun. That's all we want to hear. That's it.
Oh, look, they won't be happy either way, I reckon. Here we go. Brody May's going to be on a solo run. But just watch this. He came out in qualifying yesterday and just laid down a 95 out of 100. So, you know, he's the man to catch at the moment. He is who you want to idolise when it comes to this. If you can emulate what he's doing, you're definitely in with a chance here this weekend. And look at him. It's like the judges are in his ear.
It does look like he is just sitting back and it's a remote-controlled car. He is very comfortable in this S13. It is awesome to watch. It is a very fluent car. And look, he's probably reveling on the fact that he's got this buy run now. He can keep his eye in. He's been sitting around a while between the battles. Looks like we've got Roger Anson right now up against Adam Wood. Let's see what happens.
Here we go. How will this one go down? Roger Anson out nice and wide. Wood there sticks it on the door. Two South Aussies. Oh no, Alan Wood, something's gone wrong there. Hasn't quite made the corner there when it comes to speed. We'll have to check out the replay a little bit later, see if anything's happened there. Roger Anson, though, keeps the momentum going in the big S15.
That's it, just going from clip to clip. He's just flying along. See how he goes up against the outside wall. Adam Wood pumping out the smoke. He's got to remember he's got to do a lead run now too. He's got to keep some tyres on the back of that thing.
And what do you think is an advantage when it comes to the lead car? Would you rather go first with the full tyre tread, or would you rather go second once you've sort of laid it out on the track?
Sort of depends on who you're up against, right? At the end of the day, every driver is going to do the best that they can do, but I think a lead run is always the best for getting rid of the nerves because you don't have anything in front of you. You sort of tip in, let the car do what it wants to do, and by the time you're ready for your battle, you know, you're feeling a lot more comfortable being in the chase.
We'll have to wait there with the judges there because they see Anson there stalls it up a bit in the mid-corner just to try and keep the momentum. So quite sure if that's taken. Alan Wood obviously gets sideways, almost puts a rear quarter into the door of Roger Anson. He's pushing. The 30-25.
Roger is glued to the door.
He's listened to the judges, hasn't he? Proximity, proximity, and proximity when it comes to chase car.
That's it. He's just got to manage and maintain this gap now. Adam's just got to stay strong and just keep his right foot buried. But Roger's doing a fantastic job staying nice and close. He's mimicking him corner for corner.
Really hard to do there as he goes through the smoke as well.
A little bit of a check up there by Roger. Looks like he was just starting to shallow up on that corner. But every other corner prior to that, from turn one to where he was a fantastic display of how to be a chase driver.
Alan Wood not afraid to hold it flat too and really punish the tyres. If you check out the Tri-Ace tyres replay here, Wood, it all starts sideways. He goes through the chicane. Just not gripped up as much as I would have thought with the big power it's got. Big change to the, like I say, going on to the semi-slicks there. Grabs a handbrake there. You can see that stalls it up a bit. Gives Anson something to work for, but Anson's doing a nice job there to just keep the flow going. I noticed Wood through a couple of sections there, just gets the tyre out in the dirt, and it's really obvious just there when you come to somewhere like the Bend Motorsport Park where there's so much dirt on the edge. You have a green track with grass, you might not notice him just drop a tyre just on the edge, but it really stands out there. And Anson has to check that one up and straightens up. But although being in the chase run, I think they're probably going to look at Anson's lead run as a preference. We'll wait to see how the judges unfold with this one. It looks like our 5 minutes is done and Shembry is back. So Scott Shembry now is going to be leading over his teammate when it comes to the Hi-Tec Blaze unit. Look, neither of these drivers are going to be upset if the other one goes through. They'll be hoping for the best. Remembering that Scott Shembry's been having dramas with the car. And then we've got James Abbott, who's just not quite comfortable in the car. Like I said, was understeering there. So I'm sure whoever gets out in this round, they will go to the other driver and help them get those cars sorted. But we'll have to wait and see this time. It looks like Scott Shembry's going to be leading us away. So it might be something they know about in the car that they can fix very quickly. The big twin turbo LS, and look at him with a 350.
Very good entry.
Wow, speed.
You can see there's a little bit of vented frustration on that entry into turn one. He just wants this car to sing, and hopefully that's what it can give him for this run.
Well, he's known as the master chef because he likes to bake. Abbott doing a nice job though. Look at him close the proximity up. Oh no,
bugger.
He's back out on the wall. He's done this already when it came into qualifying yesterday, and that looks bent.
Yeah, that front left looks like it's not pointing where it needs to either. So hopefully it's just a busted steering arm and maybe a busted rear arm. But Chambry's not happy with himself.
No, he'll be upset about that, especially when you do it twice. Very easily though there when you go out and you drop a wheel out in that dirt, and once you do that and the traction is lost, you're just a passenger along for the ride. But very similar to what happened in practice and qualifying yesterday. He did the same sort of damage, hurt a rim in the car, and they had the back off. It'll be going back to Vango Vango repairs there to get the bodywork redone, the Ferrari red paint on it, of course. Well, they'll have a fair bit of work to do just to get that back in the trailer. His weekend looks like it might be done here. If we check out the Hi-Tec Blaze unit, James Abbott will be the chase car. Scott Shemry in the lead. It started off really well, though.
It was a very good, these two want to put on a show. They are true to this sport, and they've been doing this for a very, very long time. It just looks like this weekend hasn't been the weekend for either of them in terms of car reliability. They've been behind the 8 ball, and that plays a lot on your mind. If you're not at peace with the car and its condition, it can be very, very difficult to just get some fluency.
Well, I think when you get that anger and that frustration of the weekend that he's had, Scott Shembury, you just see him, it straightens for a second there, and you push the car, I suppose, past where it's comfortable this weekend. Everything hasn't been going their way for the Blaze unit. I'm going to say that James Abbott will, out of that, end up getting the win out of this one. So the good news about that is Jabs' car hasn't had any mechanical issues this weekend. It seems to be going quite well. They just don't have the setup right. They seem to be struggling getting that comfortable spot. He felt like he had it, but you can see out there when he's getting around, he just doesn't quite have, he doesn't seem as comfortable as we have seen him in cars before. So we'll have to wait and see how Jabs goes. Slow motion replay here. He's got the handbrake there because we can see the rim stops. And does he get second wheel out on the dirty? Yeah, he does.
He's a passenger at that point, unfortunately. But even if you pay attention, Jabs did a very good job actually to check up to not also follow Shembury in. But if you just pay attention to that wall, there is a lot of debris there. You can see why so many people are having issues this weekend, because you're a passenger once you hit those marbles. Once you hit the gravel and the dirt there's not a lot you can do. When these cars are going sideways at the rate that they are, you just hold on and hope that whatever you're about to hit doesn't hurt you too much,
Look, and the wall doesn't move.
No.
It is a heavy concrete wall. It is set down. We're at a very professional track here at the Ben Motorsport Park in South Australia, just out near Murray Bridge, so about an hour out of Adelaide. A lot of people go out there, very well known for their drifting course. Drift SA doing a fantastic job with the series out there, and Stewie Bryant, part of that, who's one of our judges there this weekend. So they've had this, it's a dual purpose facility, I suppose. It comes, they get go-karts on here as well, but it has had that drifting, I suppose, heritage ingrained in the layout of it. So they've been able to make different tracks there. So it's a great facility to go to and change things up. We'll check it out one more replay here on the Tri-Ace replay. And look, the frustrations there. Look how fast he takes this in.
Yeah.
The Master Chef himself just gets it on. And, the tyres fall over. The Tri-Ace is just getting punished through that first corner.
It's definitely a bad day to be a Tri-Ace. That is for sure. But look, you can see here, Scott, you could see he felt like the car was on song. So he was driving aggressive. He was going from clip to clip. I just think that he got to this outside point. You can see he tried to carry some wheel speed through, and he's just ended up in no man's land. But as we were saying before, all the dirt, all the gravel on those outer skirts of the track, once you hit it, no matter how gripped up or how fast or how slow the car is, you're just going to get washed away.
So it'll be very interesting to see what the next lead drivers want to do, because, remembering the lead driver, it's all about line. Now, if we can't get all that dust off there quick enough, are you going to risk maybe losing a few points when it comes to your lead run just to make sure you make it through there? Because we're already seeing a fair bit of damage there. So we've seen a fair bit of damage on some of the cars now. Remembering they've got other competitions to go to, so these cars have to be repaired. They've got other things to go to. And it's only the start of May when we're going to go back to Winton, really, to put on round number 3 of what is going to be a fantastic Hi-Tec Drift Allstars for 2022.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a battle of attrition. Motorsport in general. With all the walls and everything that you've got here and all the room for, I guess, damage, you've got to just go out, drive the car knowing that that's it. It's got to go back onto a trailer and then get back off and go to another track in, a couple of short weeks. So you don't want to do anything that is too over the top. You want to stay consistent, you want to stay smooth, you want to stay fast, but at the same time, sometimes those little 1%ers that might work and give you the win or give you the highest qualifying run might not be worth it, because the chance of you making a mistake and doing big damage, right, like we're seeing here, not that this is a qualifying run or anything, but you know, there's runs where you just got to sit back a little bit and go, you know what, let's just get to the end of this run. Let's score some points. Let's go back and assess, and at least we can make it to the next round and carry on our campaign.
Yeah, remembering there's a championship here, really, at stake. So if you've scored well in round number 1, which you have seen a number of drivers, sometimes it's best just to keep those points ticking over. Sometimes you can't be up on the podium every time. You just need to keep that momentum going, because we've still got 3 rounds where you can accumulate a lot of those points. You can make it back, because you just never know through attrition who we're going to have at the next round. We could have a lot more cars, so you could have some wild cards thrown in there that aren't at this round. They come back, and all of a sudden, where you're running in the top 10 now, you've really got to fight for that top 10 position. So yeah, maybe pushing it at this round where we've seen a lot of attrition early on. So we did have a lot of cars there entered at the bend, and unfortunately through qualifying and practice on day number 1, quite a number of those cars have come to damage or sustain mechanical injury, so they haven't actually made it out here when it comes to our top 16 battle. So at this point, I think it's just about survival when it comes to the bend, because I am getting some reports there. I'm getting stuff sent through to me live, which is even Paddy Barley's sent through. They have some issues with the engine in that car, but they're still going to come out in the Corvette and have a go, but they're going to be running that in limp mode.
Ooh. Even on running on 4 to 5 cylinders, that has probably got more horsepower than a lot of the cars in the field. But as a wise man once said, to finish first you must finish. So I think a lot of them have got to take that into account now.
Look, probably the best thing we can do while we clean up on track at the moment is have a look at what's happened so far here this afternoon at the Bend Motorsport Park for the Hi-Tec Drift Allstar Series. We've had the Pro-Ams come out. They've gone through their top 8, and we do have some results there. And we'll check that out there for the Pro-Am guys, though, because they've managed to get through. Brian Cruikshank, we'll check out some of the highlights. But Brian Cruikshank took on Jason Hayden. Here it is. And it was a lead run from Cruikshank there where there was a fatal mistake made there by Cruikshank, which we're not used to seeing, actually. Like we say, those different grip levels that everyone's struggling with. And he goes out wide here, and it's just out in the sand at that point. And Jason Hayden manages not to make contact there and goes through. So that's a big advantage there. Jason Hayden now does a lead run, and although it's not a perfect lead run when we look at it, when we break it down to those categories of what the judges are looking for, it still was a consistent lead run. It still scored, which is that big advantage when we know Brian's had the off track.
That's it. He did what he needed to do. Jason knew that he had the advantage. He was silently fist pumping, you know, in the cabin. But that's all good and well, but you've still got to be able to put down a lead run like he's doing here. You've still got to be able to impress the judges and give them confidence that you deserve to be in the top 8 and then move into the top 4. Jason's a very, very skilled driver. I've been around watching him drive for a very long time, and I've battled with him quite a bit. He knew what he needed to do here, but as we saw with Brian, he's going to be kicking himself now. He wished he would have gone in 10 kilometres an hour slower into that first corner.
Kurt Penrose star, who managed to get in here all thanks to Zoo Performance there from Drift SA, won himself a entry into this round, taking on Kieran Ratcliffe. And Ratcliffe there, they made contact there and broke the rack in that car. So unfortunately, R33 broken rack. You don't know what's going to happen there, and he tries to drive it off. You see that front wheel wiggling around now. They towed this car off the track, though. We thought, oh, this is all over, but he managed to borrow a car off Damien Tanti. And unfortunately, in the warm-up lap there, Tanti's car didn't want to go either and managed to tow that car off. So it was never going to be any luck there for Kieran Ratcliffe. Unfortunately, you see the contact here.
Yeah, there we go. Much better vision of that.
Yeah, so this is why he was given the opportunity to change cars. So big advantage there against Kurt Penrose star. So Kurt's been very lucky to get out of that one, actually, because if Kieran had been able to come out in the borrowed car, we might have seen a very different result.
Oh, definitely. He got a get out of jail free today. Here we see Bo with his horsepower monster tipping into turn 1. This is a beautiful car. I've seen it in the flesh at Winton last year, and it is very well put together. Chokes up a little bit here. Looks like the car didn't have the speed going through that middle corner, purely on the fact that he was probably just judging the grip levels.
Yeah, and that gave a big advantage to Sam Mudge, though, because if you don't provide the chase car the opportunity to emulate you, and you don't give him the opportunity to put the nose in, then that's what we have to look at, and that's where the advantage goes, obviously, to Sam Mudge when he is the chase car in this one. Now, he came around, and of course now he has his lead run. We'll check out Sam Mudge this time as he comes out in the Murray River Motorsports car, the RB20 from Juar Performance. And he gets it in. He's not quite as fast as Gagliardi. You see Gagliardi's got plenty of horsepower, but again, he gets that lock on. But Mudge just slides the car through nicely, and sometimes it's that fine balance between horsepower and amount of grip levels you got. Sometimes taking a bit of grip out if you don't have the horsepower is enough just to keep that momentum of the car. Now it really goes out there, pushing those outer clipping zones, and That is most what the judge will look for. He drops the tyre out, there gets a bit of dust, but it's really looking at his lead run compared to Gagliardi, who's stalled up, and it's the lesser of two evils, and that time round Sam Mudge ends up with the win. Next up, Matt Murphy taking on Nathan Ranson. Now, something on the start there. Ranson didn't get the start he wanted. Matt Murphy got away there. But Ranson does everything he can on this run, and he listened to what the judges said is sacrifice some line, sacrifice some angle to get that proximity back. And look how quickly he's already caught up to him.
Yeah, the speed and the car speed that car had in that chase run was fantastic to watch. We all thought that he was going to then turn around and lead and just absolutely gap Matt, but Matt had other things in mind. He wanted to put a good battle on and put a good show on, and he did a very valiant effort here to finish off the run the way he did.
Yeah, Nathan Ranson now takes on the lead here, and you look at this. He put the foot down too to the firewall and really tries to push hard.
That's it. Knowing he had the disadvantage in this run, given that he got had that little stalling issue on the line, he would have been stressing to try and make sure he put on a very clinical run here. Unfortunately, I think nerves got the better of him, or just the grip level once again caught him out, as it is everyone else. And Matt just did what Matt needed to do, and that is just emulate, stay close enough that he can avoid any issue or contact, and just get to the end.
I suppose it comes down to you don't need to be perfect on both runs. You just need to get a really good lead run down, stay on the line, and do your best when it comes down to the chase run. Next up, we move on to our pro battles here, and it was, of course, the Hi-Tec Blaze unit, the two teammates there, James Abbott and Scott Shembry. Now, Abbott led out of this one there, but you can see the car's just not looking its normal self, and Abbott seems to be struggling with the conditions. He stalls it up a little bit there. Shembry cuts down into the dust. I'm not quite sure. I reckon that might have been Shembry's car. Knowing that he called a 5 minutes for some mechanical, it sounds like that might be Shembry's car having some issues there, because James Abbott, I thought it might have been up on the anti-lag. And it was just unfortunate. We know what happened in the end there to Scott Shembry there. We saw that a number of times come on our screen, and unfortunately for Scott Shembry, he has got two wheels out on the dirt on the final corner and made contact with the wall quite heavily. He's gone away, of course, with all of our officials there doing their job there, and the car has been taken off track. But we're ready to go again, and here's another car that's had a fair bit of damage on it this weekend, and that's Damien Cook's car, the Zoo Performance Skylador. It's a Skyline R33 with a Commodore front end on it usually. Now it's just a Skeletor.
Yeah, it's the ultimate Frankenstein, this one. If you didn't know what it was, it's very hard to pick what its roots are as a car. But it's a very well-packaged and well-positioned car. It's got a good motor, good driveline, good lock kit. It's a good chassis. It's a 33, a decent length wheelbase, so it transitions and floats very well. Let's just hope that we get a good show put on right now.
Matt Harvey, though, look at him go to the Tasmanian from Kumo Tyres. He's going to lead this one out, and you need to watch out for him, another clinical driver. And when you're taking on Brodie Mayer all the time, you need to be really good. Look at the speed as he goes through turn number 1. Can he carry it all the way around the double apex? Cookie, it doesn't matter how much horsepower he's got from BSC Performance. He looks like he's straightened up in the background, because they've done a fair bit of repairs that after Mickey Moon made some contact borrowing that car into the wall. Harvey there. I mean,
he's putting on an exhibition here. He looks like he's done 100 laps this weekend with how comfortable he looks on the line that he's driving right now. That was a fantastic run. Cookie, I think, had to just try and get off the line, but Harvey just took off like as if he was in a top fueler.
Yeah, that thing it's quick, isn't it? It's gripped up. I mean, it's not just the Kumo tyres that are doing a fantastic job for him. They've actually got the chassis set up really well on that car. Look at the speeds he carries the one. He's full commitment at that point, right out on the wall, carries it around the far side, but still maintaining that speed. We've seen a lot of cars there where they've stalled the car speed up. He's managed to keep that momentum going there. Transitions really nicely too, comes out in those outer clipping zones. Now it's time for Damien Cook. What can the Cookie Monster do? The BSC Performance LS. Well, he's going to have to use every bit of RPM.
He's got to focus on putting down a good lead and just get a good, consistent run in. Matt's going to sit right on any pillar he can get to on that car, put the pressure on. It looks like Cookie's just pushed a little bit too hard there. Let's hope that he can redeem himself and just stay on. Yep, he's on the loud pedal. You can see he's having some fun.
Well, he's already hit the steering wheel. He knows he's made an error there. So now it's just going to be all about blazing those tyres. The Zeki's on the back, all thanks to Zook Performance. Look at him go. Matt Harvey was right up on the door the whole way. Did nothing wrong. We know he got a wheel out there, but he was following Cookie out on the dirt. It's been a tough weekend again for Cookie. They took the street stock front end off it, but it still wanted to get out in the dirt.
Yeah, look, once again, it's just judging. It's very trying and judging conditions out there. These guys are just going from corner to corner, and the track condition changes every time they're on track. Cookie's out there carrying momentum. Matt's there just buzzing around, putting some pressure on. And you can see that Cookie was really stepping up to the occasion, knowing he had a very fast S chassis behind him. But it just looks like the car didn't have that rear grip there for that corner to hold him on circuit. But he finishes off strong, puts on a show for everyone, and I'm sure he knows exactly what he needs to do for the next round.
Well, he'll turn that car around. It's quite easy to fix up, especially with the bar work they've got there. If that's not too bent, even though we did hear in the interview earlier when Carly was down there with Mickey Moves, that took a fairly substantial hit to the front end. So that could be a little bit out as well. So there's a lot of factors going on there. Really need to get back to the workshop before they go into round number 3. Right now, though, let's go back down to Carly.
Now, James, it's never a good thing to see a teammate go into the wall. What terrible news has happened? Can you see you were right behind him, so you were chasing him? What happened?
I had a front row seat for that. Super disappointing. To be honest, the whole battle was a bit of a mess, and I knew he was having problems with the car. We talked about it before he went out. He called the 5 minutes, didn't get it sorted. So I left him a bit of room, which, made the battle not that much fun. We really wanted to put on a good show, but I just left a bit of distance, and I saw him going wide on that last corner, and I just thought I'd rather forfeit the run, so I sort of backed right up, and just in case that was going to happen, and I'm glad I did, otherwise it would have been the 2 Hi-Tec Oils car in the wall there.
Shocking news. Well, there's obviously a lot of work to be done before round 3 now. So, but your battle is up now, so I'll let you jump in the car and go out there again.
Good luck.
Yeah, that's very lucky there wasn't damage sustained to both cars, because I know they're going to be very busy between the teammates to get these cars turned around for the next round. Of course, that is not too far away. Of course, that is coming your way. Round number 3 from Winton Motor Raceway in Victoria on the 7th and 8th of May. So it's not that far away. We're only talking about 6 weeks, and to get those cars repaired. Van Gogh, I know he turns around pretty quickly for these guys and for a lot of people in the Hi-Tec series, but a lot of work to do that one. So as long as James Abbott can keep the car clean, I'm sure the team will be very happy. As we go through our top 8 tree, though, at the moment, and these are the drivers who are going to be battling out. Brodie May is taking on James Abbott. Now, it's just going from worst to tough, I suppose. You had your teammate, now you're going to take on Brodie May, who's just laying down these clean lines again and again. Roger Anson's going to be taking on Glenn Omerod in the 86. Dale Campaign and Matt Harvey, that is going to be a fantastic battle. Although we haven't seen Dale Campaign, the real Dale Campaign, battle it out here today. In qualifying, we know he was number 2, so he didn't need to come out. Patrick Barley is going to be nursing that Corvette to get through, but he's taking on Jason Ferrin, who's in that Barra-powered R31 wagon. So some exciting battles coming up in the Hi-Tec Oils Drift Allstars Pro category. Can't wait for that one from Hi-Tec Oils, and we'll have to see what happens at the Bend Motorsport Park, but it's getting tougher and tougher once you go into that 8, and we're seeing that those cars are having to back it up. The mechanical advantage here, I suppose, we do know we've got a couple of cars there just nursing a couple of injuries. James Abbott still doesn't seem comfortable in the car. He's got Brodie May, who's the number 1 qualifying, looking super comfortable. Matt Harvey's looking great in the car. That thing just sat down and blazed tyres, was very, very quick. But Dale Campaign, this is his local track. He gets to travel around the country, does quite a bit of Victoria. I know he goes up to Northern Territory for the Invitational, places like that. So, but this is his home track, and we know he's very accomplished behind the wheel. So we'll have to wait and see how he goes there. Patrick Barley, Jason Ferrin, that one's going to be a great mashup. And, of course, Roger Anson and Glenn Omerod, though. Let's go and catch up with Carly once again.
Guys, here with the 350Z, so as you can see, the front wheel is not meant to be all the way back. The caster is obviously meant to be forward. There's a lot of damage. Obviously, the lower control arm will definitely be bent. See, you can see the ball joint, the upper control arm there is on a mad angle. The car's obviously getting stuck as well. It's horrid. Well, this is the problem. You know, it's a high-speed track. You know, every guy is getting as close as they can to that rear wall. What the problem is that, you know, they'll hit the rear wall and then the front end will go to the front here as well. So, but look at that rim, it's completely gone.
Very similar to what happened yesterday in qualifying. So he's done another rim in that one. But his teammate, though, will be cheering him on. Hopefully he's got out there Brodie May. Watch for this one in the lead. The Bonnie Energy car, the S13 from Tasmania, takes off. And look at the gap over James Abbott in the 2J. The little SR, well, I shouldn't call it little, the big SR.
Yeah, the big SR that thing has some serious grunt. Serious grunt. Let's just watch how he goes corner for corner here, line for line. This car is very gripped up, so he can just pick where he wants to put it. Jabbett knows that he's got a very good driver in front of him too, and in typical Jabbett style, it'll be pedal to the metal, knowing he can trust everything that's going to be happening in front of him. Look at that, winding on the angle for that last corner, putting on a show for everyone. I just can't believe how much speed that little S13 has got. That gets into turn 1 at a rapid rate of knots.
Well, him and Matt Harvey, I think that's going to be the showdown we want to see later. Hopefully they go through and take us off. And check out the tyres replay here. And Brody Mayer just drives away. James Abbott there, I don't know if he's caught off guard or he's just got to get into it, but you see the understeer again there, and he was complaining about that earlier, James Abbott. Still having some issues there. Brody Mayer, though, when the car starts to pull up a bit, he just stands on it, the grip's up, it goes again. He sort of can, it doesn't matter, whatever the car needs to do, he can just make it happen. I mean, that's the beauty about being very comfortable, I suppose, with the setup of the car. I know they've been doing a lot of laps here in Tasmania. Here we go, James Abbott now getting a chance to lead out in this one. It's going to be a tough battle, our top 8. The first of our top 8 battles for the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Pro category. And the bumper's already gone off it. Goes out wide, stalls up a bit. Looks like there's going to be a bit of panel work going on for Van Gogh after this one. Mayer doesn't let him go anywhere though. He goes door to door with him.
Jabbett is putting on an absolute show here. But I can tell you what, yeah, Brody is not giving him an inch. He wants this win. He wants this battle. And up against the wall. It's going to be close. I reckon there's a little tap there by Brody on that outside wall. And I wonder what happened to Jabbett on turn 1. Did he just drag the wall? Is that why the rear bodywork decided to exit stage left? Yeah, possibly. And I mean, we look at these drift cars now as we start to lose a bit of the exoskeleton on them. Is that they are race cars underneath there. A lot of these cars, when it comes to the pro category, if you check out the prior replay here, James Abbott. We'll just have a look here before we talk about the exoskeleton. Yeah, I definitely think there was a bit of a drag there.
Yeah, I'm having a look. There's plenty of marks on that wall, but there was definitely a drag, yeah.
So Jabbett wasn't leaving anything on the table. He wants to put on a show. He wants to drive as hard as he can. Brody's also up for the task. They both have got monstrous cars, big power, lots of grip. So these two can just be on the loud pedal knowing that the car in front is going to be one to trust.
Yeah, a little bit of a straighten up there for James Abbott too, and Brody Mayer just manages to grab a little bit of door there, but it didn't set him off the line, so I don't know if that's going to hurt him too much in the judgment. We'll have to wait and find out, because when you go side-to-side contact, just a little bit of slight contact like that, normally if it doesn't throw the lead car or the chase car off line, normally we'll let that go ahead. But yeah, we talk about the exoskeleton on the cars. They are race cars underneath a lot of these pro category cars. They've got the bar work in the back, and you pretty much, they're pot riveted or they're somehow mounted to that bar work. So the lights are held in by very thin bits of metal. You got the bar work around front holding the bar on. They've lightened these cars up. They've made it so they can access all the engine, they can access the suspension. They're easy to work on. They're easy to get straight again. You can basically, if you bend that bar work on the back, you can just take all those panels off. They're very flexible. They replace the bar work quite easily with a tube bender and a welder, and then they can just put the panel work back on. And that's how a lot of these pro cars operate nowadays, because to repair them between these rounds, especially when we've only got 5 or 6 weeks, you want to make it as simple as possible.
That's it. A lot of these big pro cars now are built like Lego. You take one piece off on the back, you put a new piece on. They're built to be driven hard, and that's something that, you know, drifting as a sport has evolved with over the years. You know, you've gone from having full chassis cars to now knowing that you only need the middle of the car really to stay intact. Front tube, rear tube, you bend it, you break it, you replace it, the car keeps driving instead of having to throw the chassis in the bin. So, yeah, that's why you see a lot of these guys hit the walls. Not so much in the sense of being destructive, but drag the walls, tag the guys that they're chasing and battling with. It's because they know that the cars can be easily fixed. Yeah, it's that confidence there. And it looks like Brody Mayer is going to get the win out of that. James Abbott won't make it into the top 4. Brody Mayer going into another top 4 fight as we go into Roger Anson, who'll be leading out Glenn Omerod in this one. And Anson there has already got a bit of damage on the back there, his local track, and he throws it right out wide. Glenny's up nice and close. A little bit of a straight in there. He may have checked up as he was tipping into turn 1 with Roger. Roger, once again, is just going from clipping point to clipping point. Very smooth, nice and wide. He'll be focusing now on this last corner as he flicks it in. Now he's got to hold his line. Glenn will be doing a good job now to try and check the speed up and stay nice and close. So it's a nice and synchronised finish.
Yeah, Roger Anson there. I think when you're in the lead run there, you just need to worry about yourself at this point. It's just about doing that line. As we check out the Tri-Ace Tyres replay, Anson throws it in nicely, keeps it off the wall there, but gets close enough, goes out wide. Glenn Omerod trying to keep that proximity, comes in a bit shallower. He just washes off a bit too much speed, has to have a little bit of a straighten up there and try and get it back. And if you don't set yourself up with enough speed on that big double apex coming in, it really hurts you. It's the most technical part of the run. The back half of though gives you a bit of an opportunity there, the last couple of corners where you can come in shallow on the lead driver. And as you see, look at the proximity here on Anson. He shuts it down there on Omerod, gets on the gas, and they drive it out of this battle.
Be interesting to see what Glenn does now on the leader. Actually, watching the replay descend, it looked like Glenn wanted to enter into turn 1 a little bit earlier than what Roger did. So I think from the get-go, Glenn was a little bit behind on momentum because he anticipated to dive into that first corner a little bit earlier. I'm sure we'll cut back to it later on, but that probably would have set him off for the first 50% of the track. He was playing catch-up because he had to quickly try and readdress his driving line and speed because of what happened. But
you can see how warm it is out on track. The driver's just keeping the door open while we have this little moment there. Big shout out to all of our sponsors, of course, the Hi-Tec Motorsport tyres, Hi-Tec batteries, Motec, Raceline, Vango Repair Centre, of course, Orange Hire, Powwow and ACUG. It was great to have them all on board here as part of the Hi-Tec Drift Series. We can't thank everyone enough. And of course, Orange Hire, a fantastic new sponsor that we've got here as part of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstar Series. And we know all the equipment. If you want to get involved and need equipment there for your site, Orange Hire is the place to go. I also need to thank, of course, Zoo Performance, doing a fantastic job with the Pro-Am Series. They've also got like a Driver of the Day giveaway as well, so they give us some cash away there for Zoo Performance products if you check that out. And don't forget, they do have a promotion going on this week, and I do believe, I'm going to double check it there just so I make sure this one's right, but they do have a promotion. If you go to the website and you want to order your parts, it's HT10. Stick that in the promo code. HT10 is the promo code, and if you get that in there, that will get you a discount on Zoo Performance products here this weekend. So another fantastic, I suppose, initiative that Zoo Performance are doing. Like we say, it's not just the seat belts and the steering wheels. It's not just that sort of things. They're going into turbos, winters diffs, sequential gearboxes, dog boxes. You know, you can go get that all there when it comes to Zoo Performance. Fuel rails, fuel lines, fittings for, you know, whether it be for your water lines, your fuel lines. They've pretty much got everything there. So don't go past Zoo Performance. Check them out online. Trias Tyres, if you want to get involved with Trias Tyres. Obviously promoting the sport here as well for all of our replays, but a lot of the cars starting to get those Trias tyres on board and working really well for them. But right now, though, we're going to head back down to Carly.
Brody, I saw you walking around a bit anxious. What was happening?
Oh, that was just a really tight battle. This morning's been a little bit dicey. We probably haven't got as much practice as we wanted. And there's a lot of oil and dirt and stuff all over the track, so I wasn't really sure how hard to push, but Jabbit was driving awesome, and I got a couple of good runs with him yesterday, so I knew I could push pretty hard. And yeah, seriously, it was just a super fun chase, so yeah, loving it.
Awesome. All right, thanks for the update. Back to you guys.
Glenn Omerod there, you can see in the lead run, just pushed and pushed and pushed and goes out wide onto the dirt. And Roger Hansen with a clear advantage in this one. Normally we don't like the chase car to overtake, but in those instances it is allowed when the lead car goes off the track. So Glenn Omerod, I'm sure he's having some choice words with himself in that cockpit.
Yeah, I would not like to be the steering wheel right now. I'm sure it's probably copping a good couple of hits, but it looks like Glenn just went as hard as he could. You know, he was trying to put on a show, trying to get a distinctive lead into turn one on Roger. But once again, he probably just got caught out on the challenging and unpredictable conditions. It looks like he just completely washes out.
Also there, you've had the chase run before, so you know how quick Hansen is, so you probably want to try and match that speed as he just goes out wide, like say, caught off maybe by the grip levels there. He was a lot shallower when he was on the chase run, trying to put it right out there on the wall, trying to risk it, get that perfect lead line there so you can maximise your points and try and go into that top four battles. Unfortunately, that's going to hurt him. We will refresh our battle tree here and see if the judges have already made a decision, as we've got a bit of a prediction on that one there, but we will give you the results as soon as they come to hand. Roger Hansen there, I think, with a clear advantage at the moment. Next up, though, just warming the tyres up, the Kumo tyres. Now, this one's going to be a tough battle. Probably either of these drivers could be a number one here this weekend, and Matt Harvey has been a winner at Hi-Tec previously back in 2019, run the final round there, and well, actually, no, he started out 2020, I think. We had round one. We didn't finish off that series. He took it out and led away with the championship. But Matt Harvey then, the S13 from Tasmania, taking on Dale Campaign, the local hero. He's the real Dale Campaign, I've been told. He's not the fake one. He's the real one. Roger Hansen, the winner of that last battle between himself and Glenn Omerod, which is no surprise there. Well, let's check out this battle. Dale Campaign going to lose out in the GH haulage. What can the one man do? A little bit of smoke coming off that rear. Oh, it takes the wing out on the wall. That's right in the wall. Look at Matt Harvey, though. He goes door to door with him. Nice line there from Dale Campaign. Gives Harvey every opportunity, and he doesn't waste it. Caught up in the smoke for Harvey, but he puts it on the back quarter. Transitions nicely. Campaign moves away a little bit. Harvey now dives down for this final corner. Side by side as they finish off the run. Big round of applause for these two drivers, and we expected to see that sort of battle between these two drivers when it was going to be Matt Harvey, Dale Campaign. We'll check out the Tri-Ace replay. Run us through this one.
Two blokes with utmost respect for one another that certainly know their way around this track and their cars. Total commitment here by Dale, going in, dragging the wall. He already has the speed. Matt comes in knowing he's got a job on hand, and that is just to stick as close as possible to that inside of Dale's car. Having grip, having speed, having control, all looks like a beautiful little ballet dance right now. Outside clips, loud pedal, lots of smoke. We can just see that Dale is running a clinical line here. Matt, total trust, knows that he can just dive up on the inside and hold his line.
Let's go. Let's see how Harvey, how much does he want to push it out in that outer clipping point in the first corner? Runs it out. Campaign goes wide. A lot of angle there from Harvey, but he's still maintaining that speed.
Dale did a very good job there to salvage that entry into turn one. Now he's got a job ahead of him. He's got to try and redeem himself and stay close to Matt. Drive up on him. He's going to look for a good quick transition through the smoke here, which he's done. He's got some momentum. He'll check up, stay off the wall. Beautiful. They'll cross the finish line. That was lovely to watch.
Those last couple of corners, isn't it, where really you can see the chase driver has every opportunity as long as he's in there. And look, a bit of appreciation. You can see the respect between the drivers, the hand out the window there. The Tri-Ace replay now, as you see the Kumo tyres, S13 and Matt Harvey throws it down, not quite as close to the wall, and you see Dale, just the car slides out a little bit wider than he wants to. He really need to be on the inside of Matt Harvey at that point, though. At this point, you can see that once we've gone through that second corner, he resets the car, gets back. He's got every opportunity. Matt Harvey leaving that line that the judges wanted, so that Dale now can put the car on the back quarter. Transition into the final corner and slides it in there, door to door.
Beautiful way to finish. You can see that Matt's car's got a lot of balance. It's very well gripped. It is very fluent in its transition. It's very snappy. Dale's got the horsepower. He's got the track knowledge. And he's got years under his belt in driving, so that was just a fantastic
We're
display.
going to leave that one for the judges, because that one's going to be a difficult one, I think, between those two, Matt Harvey, Dale Campaign. I'm sure the South Aussies are cheering on for Dale Campaign. As our next come up, it's going to be the young gun, Patrick Barley, now in the Corvette. 434 cubes of naturally aspirated goodness under there. Late model engine if you're in the Speedway world, taking on Jason Farron in the, the Barra Wags, as they know it, the purple wagon there, R31 with the 580 kilowatt Barra on board. Now, Jason, relatively new car, only just going on to the Tri-Ace R1s as well, so very different going from the street tyres to get on those semi-slicks. Got plenty of power. Patrick Barley nursing a little bit of an injury on that engine. That thing can lose 300 horsepower and it's still going to be an absolute weapon. So I'm sure they wouldn't take it out there if they're going to do complete damage to the engine, because although they are fighting in the championship, they've got lots to do between next round. They've got some commitments coming up, so they've already got a bit of panel damage to fix. So it'd just be interesting to see how much that Patrick Barley is going to lay this down. They won't want to be sitting on that start line too long, I don't think, with that V8 just sitting there idling. They'll be wanting to get this underway very quickly.
Yeah, they're a very well-oiled machine, the Mule Motorsports team, but they'll know that the car is still in good health. You know, they wouldn't send it out there and risk doing any damage that would compromise the next round. So hopefully that's it. The flies aren't in their faces too much. Pat's going to go down and just put on, hopefully, a very stellar lead run.
There we go. They go through the gears. Can the WAG keep up? How does Jason Farron go? He's in the chase. Oh, look, they throw it down. He gets down the inside line, the wagon, but he's going to have to try and push it out wide to keep that speed. I think he was probably preempting how fast that Patrick Barley can go. And look at the grip there. Like I say, he runs these slightly smaller tyres in this Corvette, but it really grips up for him as he goes through. Now Jason Farron has every opportunity to put on the doors. This back section here that makes it a bit easier for the chase car.
That's it. You can run a slightly shallower line and just stay on the loud pedal and suck yourself up into that door. Just trying to have a listen to Pat's car just to see how it sounds.
It's a little bit off there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just a little bit off. Like I say, this thing could lose 300 horsepower and it's still an absolute weapon. It makes like 900 normally. Here you go, takes off. It's a little bit off song there, but still carrying a fair bit of speed. You know the Barra's going to be able to keep up with over 500 kilowatts. Look at him throw it down, though. Puts it out really wide. He straightens up a little bit, though, doesn't he?
You can definitely tell the wagon's got a lot of grip, because you can see the way that he's got the inputs in that car. It's very snappy. It squats and drives, so I think Jason's just trying to understand how much grip he really does have under him.
Here we go now. It's down to the chase run. How is Jason Farron going to go in the lead? We'll have to find out. He was looking to go out a little bit wider.
Nice big flick. Good entry.
Probably not as wide as what we saw Barley, but maintaining that angle.
Pat's main focus now will just be staying close. Suck up into the door. Oh, looks like he may have ran a little bit wide there. Put a wheel off, potentially.
What can you do now with that grip, though, that Barley's got? Can he catch up to Jason, who's putting all the power down now? The right foot is down to the firewall, and look at the wagon go. Cranks on the angle, comes in a bit shallow, though. And we talk about how important it is in that lead run to keep it. So even though Patrick Barley wasn't door-to-door, he's technically shut him out there, not giving that opportunity. So that's going to hurt him in the scores.
Yeah, definitely. We watch here, it looks like Jason knows he's got a lot of horsepower under his belt. He's more so just pioneering those grip levels. So he gets into turn one, starts to flow on through. You can see that Pat is trying to judge the speed of the car ahead. They go through that little sandy section, washes out just a tiny bit, and that gives Jason the advantage where he can just hold his line and keep accelerating off into the distance. Pat will be trying his best now to grip up, take a slightly shallower line to keep some speed, but Jason's unfortunately done enough, or fortunately I should say, he's done enough just to keep that distance between him and Pat.
Yeah, that one's going to be a tough one for the judges. We know there Patrick Barley just doesn't sound 100% there, but they still will be trying to maintain some points in this series and keep that momentum going. I mean, it didn't work out from him round number one for Patrick Barley. Had a whole heap of issues. Back in 19th position when it comes to the points in the championship, and I know that he is super competitive. It comes from the nature of motorsport and what he's grown up around. Remembering in the off-season, he's actually got behind the wheel of a sprint car and done a few laps as well. So he's involved in all sorts of forms of motorsports. We know he's been around the racetrack since he was a kid with his old man racing. So Alan Barley obviously is an Australian sprint car champion when it comes to 360. So done lots of sprint car racing. They've been over to the States. So that competitive nature's in Patrick's, it's just there. And he needs to keep that momentum going in this round. We've seen so many cars fall out. If he can just make it in the top four, he'll bag a swag of points there, which will just help him as we push back into Winton in round number 3. And the more development, I suppose, on that car, they're still getting things done. I know they've been up in Darwin and they've been doing a lot of stuff at the track there behind the scenes, just changing things, testing things, tyres, pressures, getting, I suppose, everything set up when it comes to the steering on the, and you know, just the acumen on the rear as well. They'll be looking for all those little finite changes they can do when they go different tracks with different speed entries. And there's a lot more going on in the background, I suppose, than what meets the eye when it comes to the, I suppose, the novice drift, you know, novice drift person who comes down and watches, I suppose, the viewers. If you're behind the scenes, you know how much yourself you're chasing those grip levels.
You definitely are. You definitely are. And look, we've got to remember too, a lot of these cars haven't really been driven much, you know, the past 12, 18 months due to COVID. So that Corvette especially we've been talking and touching base on, you know, its first real competitive round was Winton last year, you know, and I don't think there's been a heck of a lot of driving or R&D testing between then to now to get setups right. You know, normally when you build a new car, you need sort of half a season to a season to understand the changes and to get the car dialed in per track. So look, this is just all just the realms of motorsport.
It is the realms of motorsport, and let's head down to Carly.
Now, Scott, what's more important is asking is, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all good.
What actually?
Anything hurting is my pride. No, just obviously the miss came back in that first battle against Jabbit, so just pulling all the power out of it. Just tried to get the run through. Obviously, Jabs came off in his lead run. So I just went out, tried to put on a good lap, get through it, and the miss came back just as I was heading out, sort of put me out towards the dirt and then just dragging me into the wall. So
It's definitely threw you off, and it's just something that you just can't predict and control when it happens.
yeah, of course. Like, look, when the car was working yesterday, it was super quick. So look, the potential is there. We just got to get rid of this miss. So we'll go back. Obviously, all the arms are broken. We're lucky that I think both the wheels took most of the grunt of the hit. So we'll just get some new wise fab arms, go back, put it back on the dyno, sort that out, and then everything should be good for the next round.
All right, well, we can't wait to see you at round 3.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, tough weekend there for Scott Shembry. I mean, like he said, though, it looks like the wheels are taking a brother. The rims are easy to replace, I suppose. Some steering knuckles there. Doesn't look like the damage, body damage is going to be too much. Van Gogh will put a lick of paint on that one. They'll put a new wrap over it. But fair bit of work to do before the next round, which is coming to us from Winton on the 7th and 8th of May, because they need to find that miss, and it could be something so small, especially when they've only just put that engine back in. Doesn't sound like it's mechanical, probably something, you know, it's so easy to plumb something wrong, something loose, a wire, like you say, this time off. But big news when it comes to our top 8 battles is that going into our top 4 is that we are going to have a rerun now. So Dale Campaign and Matt Harvey and Patrick Bulley and Jason Ferrin, judges couldn't split them. Dan Mackey, Stewie Bryan and James Dean Martle, our judges here this weekend, didn't want to split these drivers. They want to put them back to the test. Dale Campaign's going to lead us out in the GH Haulage 1V now. Take on Matt Harvey in the Kumo tyres, S13 from Tasmania. And he runs the wall again. Dale Campaign puts it out really wide. Harvey doesn't let him go anywhere, as you can see. Gets right up on the door. The double apex pulls it into the second corner. How is the chase run from Harvey on this one?
He has thrown the tow rope out and he's latched right onto the back of Dale. Dale's doing a stellar job here, keeping wheel speed high, grip high, speed high. Watch him float to that outside corner, piling on the wheel speed, piling on the grip and the angle. That's a good finish and a very good first run to this rerun.
Look, they're not going to make it easy for the judges. They're going to lay this down lap after lap. And what I love about it is the drivers are actually enjoying this so much. We check out the Tri-Ace replay now. He's already lost the side of the wing, Dale Campaign. He throws it right back out there. Look at that checkpoint marker just moving as he goes by.
Wouldn't be surprised if he got the wall on that second entry just then too. He's so comfortable with this track. Watching him just pile on the lock here, look for that outside clip, put the car there, get back on the loud pedal, and just drive from point to point. Matt's doing a fantastic job to judge the speed of Dale ahead of him too. Knows exactly what he's going to be doing, corner for corner, point for point. So just is sitting back and just driving in the condition that he needs to.
You got to give it to Matt Harvey, don't you? Now he's going to lead us out. What can he do as a lead driver? Dale Campaign trying to keep that proximity. Harvey throws it out wide as well, keeps the speed, but look at Campaign doing the exact same thing that Harvey did to him.
They are super glued to one another. This is a very, very good run to watch. Just got to pick the wheel speed back up, Dale. He's going to dive back in on Matt. I'd hate to be a judge right now. This sucks.
At some point, they'll have to make a decision because this is so even when we look at the lead runs and look at him right on the wall for Harvey. Sticks it as wide he goes, and Campaign knows he can just stick it on the inside door. You can trust it. Like you say, when you've got a driver like Matt Harvey leading you, you can trust as a chase driver just to get on the power. We'll check out the Tri-Ace replay once again.
The benefit of these two guys having done their first battle and now doing a rerun is they know exactly what to expect from one another. So they're not going to be leaving anything on the table. This is do or die now, as any battle is, but they both are comfortable with the driving styles that each driver possesses. So this is just another good battle of, it's essentially an expression session for them almost. It's a battle, it's do or die, but these guys are driving hard knowing that they can trust one another.
So this is a rerun battle to get into the top 4 now, and very important. It's a shame that they've come up against each other in the top 8 because this could be a final run, really. Thinking of the judging, though, when you look at them when they're this, I suppose, good at what they're doing, the lead runs are right on, the chase runs are doing really well. It's about looking for those tiny little errors. You're almost judging backwards, not forwards. And I am just waiting to hear that it looks like we may have a winner between Dale Campaign and Matt Harvey, and this one's going to be hard to split. But Dale Campaign, the DC Drift crew, has taken the win, and this one will go into the top 4. So the South Aussies are still in with a chance when it comes to the Hi-Tec Oils Pro Series.
Sure, he's got plenty of locals screaming his name, but as we were just discussing, it's all about those finite points. He has been putting the car exactly where the judges want it. He's been doing exactly what was asked of him, and he's been able to come away with the win, and that's consistency for you.
Top 4 now in our Pro-Am, all thanks to Zoo Performance, and it's going to be Kurt Penrose Star taking on Jason Hayden for this one. Remembering that once we get these battles won and done, we're in our top 4 now, so they will get another battle at some stage, because what's going to happen is they're going to find out who's going to battle out between 3rd and 4th and who's going to battle it out between 1st and 2nd. That is really the winners now out of these next 2 battles in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am. Will go to battle out for 1st and 2nd. The ones that come runner-up are going to battle out between 3rd and 4th. See who's going to be that final step on the podium as Jason Hayden. It looks like maybe we are going to get a 5-minute call there from Kurt Penrose Star as we check out the battle tree now for the Zoo Performance Pro-Am. There it is, Jason Hayden taking on Kurt Penrose in the top team. Who's going to battle it out? Well, there you go, the battle for, and then we've got Sam Mudge taking on Matt Murphy. That's going to be a great one as well. So they're fairly evenly matched. You think Matt Murphy there was slightly bigger bottom end, the bigger RB, might have a little bit of a power advantage there over Sam Mudge, who managed to make his way through. But look, the Motor River Motorsport entry there, and he's got the SR20 on, the RB20 on board. Doing a fantastic job this weekend. He thought maybe I won't make it, and he's fought some, drive shaft issues, brake lines getting tangled up. He's done a whole heap of work in the background. But we go back to our pro categories. It looks like we are going to get this rerun done now. Patrick Barley probably taking a moment there because we know they are just easing this car into it. I'm no surprise to see it out. This is a rerun of Patrick Barley and Jason Ferrin. It's not a replay, this is a rerun. They couldn't split them last time. Paddy Barley, he's going to come out in this Corvette. How will he go leading away from Jason Ferrin now in the R31 wagon? Barley gets it right out wide. It's looking for him to be under power there in the Corvette. It just looks so stable once he gets on the power. shoot and steer there. Ferrin doing a nice job in the background, but just has a bit of a straight. I feel like Barley's just not running the normal power he is, and Ferrin's having to...
Nice drag on the wall, look at that. That Kevlar doing a beautiful job of absorbing that concrete just there.
Yeah, it just slides along. I just feel like Barley might be a little bit slower than he's used to being, and Ferrin there just very gripped up now on the wagon. Not something he's used to, I suppose. Not always running the Tri-A semis on. So look at this turn 1. Barley has to lay it on the line and puts it out on the wall as well. No wing to grab either, which is good. Kevlar just slides along. Doing a fair bit of work on the steering wheel in the turn number 1.
Yeah, I very much think that this car is driving wounded right now, the Z06 of Pat Barley. It doesn't have the smoke or the wheel speed it seems to have, so I think he's just trying to get it from point to point and finish each run to gain maximum points right now.
Got to give it to the young gun though. He is working hard. I think he might have made just a fraction of contact there with the wall. Here we go, Jason Ferrin. This will stand out though if he's very injured, because Ferrin will get away from him. We'll have to wait and find out. Ferrin runs it out wide this time. Barley does a nice job.
Trying to emulate that big angle. That was a lovely tip into turn 1 by both drivers.
He gets a slide here. Stalls it up a bit there for Barley.
Ferrin's put the power down. Seems to have a little bit more drive. Once again, that Z06 we're suspecting is driving with a little bit of an injury right now. Ferrin just lining on the lock of the power. Pat doing his best to try and just come up short a little bit, just to bring in some proximity. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of this.
Jason Ferrin puts the arm out the window, a little bit of respect there. As you can see, they love it when they get these door-to-door battles, both drivers. We check out the Tri-A replay. Jason Ferrin, the keep it read. R31 wags, the barrel wags. Wow, he was out wide. Patrick Barley doing everything he can. That left-hand drive you can notice in the Corvette means he knows exactly how close he is when you go through a right-hand corner. A little bit more momentum, I reckon, for Jason Ferrin as he goes through that second corner there. Just seemed to slide the car through a little bit nicer, and we see that Patrick Barley's inside wheel caught the ripple strip, which just unsettles the car a little bit.
Being such a light car too, that Z06, it'll be very, very, very sensitive to things like that. Bumps in the track, or hitting a curb, or doing anything like that. It will throw that little car into areas it doesn't want to be in.
Yeah, we call it a little car, and we are getting a result on that one. Looks like it's coming up in our battle tree. Looks like Jason Ferrin and the Barra Wags will go into the top 4 now as we go back to our Zoo Performance Pro-Am, as we see Kurt Penrose Star taking on Jason Hayden.
Battle of the 14s.
Kurt, though, very shallow there, wasn't he, on the entry, so he's not running that lead line that the judges are looking for.
Kurt's just got to focus on putting the car where the judges want it. Lead lap and lead line is very important in scoring here.
Well, he's come off a weekend in Drift SA where he won this entry from Zoo Performance to come into the Pro-Am. You think Jason Hayden there just seemed to have the grip levels there to maintain that proximity in this one. As we check out the Tri-A replay, Kurt Penrose Star takes off. Team 2J behind. Leaves him a little bit of a gap at that point, but it's a shallow run here, I think, from Kurt, where we see Jason Hayden sort of mid-line there, but doesn't need to do too much. Manages to catch up plenty of grip.
Yeah, you can see Jason doing his best job to try and run a slightly shallower line, knowing that he's got to try and get as close as he can to Kurt. Just watching here. Trying to keep wheel speed up, a few adjustments on the handbrake and the brake to throw some angle in. We'll see what the flip of the battles do here now with Jason in the lead.
Hayden there just starts to pull away. I wonder whether Kurt's nursing a little bit of injury in that car. It doesn't look as comfortable as it did in the previous battle, does it? Hayden goes wide.
Definitely trying to put on a big show there with plenty of angle into 1. Looks like that speed just caught him out. Remember, these guys are on a street tyre. They're not on the semis that the pros prior to were running, so they don't have the lateral grip there, so they've got to be a little bit more sensitive with where they place the cars. But Jason's done a lovely job running that midline, back on the throttle, finishing up. I do think maybe Kurt's running on a little bit less power than what he had prior to. Car doesn't look like it has the wheel speed as it had before.
Check out the Tri-A replay here, and I'm just concerned here with Jason Hayden because the Team 2J car takes off. It's going to hurt him though if he gets both wheels out on the dirt, because he's got the big advantage. It takes off. He might only grab one wheel there. I'm not quite sure that section there. look, we're not the judges, so it's going to come down their track side. They can see a lot better than what we can see here in the studio. Drives the car out there, but it is Kurt Penrose's star. Just that car's had a lot of work to do in the last couple of weekends. Like we say, coming off a Drift SA meeting where he's won the chance to be in the Pro-Am, all thanks to Zoo Performance. So he's just trying to get that car to the end there to see how far they can make it. It's that one's going to be a tight one. We'll have to wait and see what comes in. Right now, though, let's head down to Carly.
Congratulations, Dale, making it to top 4. You know what? That was one intense battle, and I would hate to be a judge.
Oh, yeah, look, I honestly thought I was out after the first one. I can't wait to watch the replay. I know we both said we made a few mistakes, but, yeah, I stepped it up for the next one. My lead run was on point, and my chase felt pretty good. I've got to work on getting a little bit closer through the inside section. But, yeah, if I can pull that together, hopefully we, yeah, try to get up on the top spot.
How's the car been going with the heat out there? It's pretty hot there.
Yeah, look, we had a few misfire. It started misfiring on the warm-up, but once it was up in the res, it wasn't too bad. It coughs and spluttered a little bit, but yeah, fingers crossed that's out of the way with now, and we have a good running car for then.
It's going to be very exciting. We can't wait to see it. Thank you very much. Back to you guys.
Yeah, it was a tough battle between him and Matt Harvey and Dale Campaign. Of course, that'll help out the South Australians. He's joining us here. I know that Dale Campaign has come down to the Hi-Tec Series before, and you know, been part of it, whether he's come down a bit and helped out behind the scenes or just been involved. I know he gets around a lot, goes up to the Northern Territory and places like that. So he gets around in the car, and look, the battle was great to watch. Great television, great for all of us who are drift fans, just for them to go door to door, back to back. We had the rerun, so they've basically done 4 runs, door to door. Hard to split them apart. I mean, and then we throw someone into the mix like Brodie Mayer. Imagine what a final that could have been if we had all those 3 in the top 4.
Would have made for a stellar couple of battles, but what we witnessed and what we're able to see are just 2 very confident, very professional drivers doing what they do best, doing what they love. That was very much, I would say, that's a textbook style of how to lead and how to chase, and what we just saw.
And we look at that when they come in, and he said like a couple of issues with the car there, but it cleared up once they got on track. So everybody seems to be going to those mechanical gremlins this weekend. It's hot out there on track at the bend. I mean, you can see there's not a lot of shade there. The bitumen will be right up there when it comes to conditions. You've got dust, all these other elements. The flies out there, we've seen Jason there battling with those in his interview a bit earlier with Carly. So, you know, maybe a couple of flies going down the intake as well if you don't have the air cleaner screwed on. So many other, I suppose, factors involved in that this weekend. We've already seen Rodney come out, unfortunately, on Nathan Greenhill's car as well. So there's a lot of cars. Mo O'Hooley's gone through an engine as well. A lot of mechanical damage happening this weekend. But right now, let's head back down to the track side with Carly.
Now, Roger, you're about to battle it out for top 4 with Brodie. How are you feeling?
Yeah, great. Car's running well. Had a good run so far. I've got to battle a few SA boys, so it'll be good to go out with the Tassie.
Awesome. Well, we really wish you the best of luck, and this is going to be one show, aren't we going to see?
Thanks, Carly.
Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Roger Anson there, coming out in our Hi-Tec Oils Pro class. Now, imagine we see Roger Anson taking on Dale Campaign. That's another one. Like, we are seeing some quality cars going in this top 4. Remembering, this is going to decide our podium now, these top 4 cars. So they're going to battle it out. Whoever wins is going to go in the battle for first and second to see who's going to be on the top of the podium, who's going to be on the second rung. And then the 2 that don't win these next 2 battles in the pro class are now going to fight out, see who's going to be the final person in third place on that podium. Of course, we always have a big celebration of the top 4, but let's catch up with some of the highlights so far of what's happened here this afternoon at round number 2 from the Bend Motorsport Park. And let's run through them now as they come out. This battle here. Now it's going to be Damien Cook, who's just trying to come back after a battle-scarred, wounded Skyline there. You can see the front end missing, and Matt Harvey, well, he just does what he does. He goes out there, lays it down, and really he is the one to beat in this run. All Cookie has to do is try and stay with him, but the speed there, the Kumo tyres in the back, the Power Plus fuel's doing its job there for Matt Harvey from Tasmania, and it's worth the travel for him as he comes down and just does line after line, lays it down there for the chase car. Unfortunately, Cookie can't keep up, and we know that's battling after some front-end damage there, unfortunately for him. Then we swapped it around here, and Matt Harvey, or how close does he want to get in the proximity, knowing he's got the speed there, but look how much he can change his driving style there and go door to door with a car that's shown not as much speed.
Yeah, no, it's a very, very good display of not only driving skill, but trust and confidence in everybody that he's got on track with. Cookie there just carrying a little bit too much speed, knowing he's got a very fast S chassis behind him. Unfortunately washes off into the outfield, but Hops back on track, gives it a valiant effort, wants to finish off those tyres and give a wave to the crowd. And Matt just knowing that he's got to stay nice and close to try and get maximum points for that battle.
Yeah, Cookie unfortunately knew there. As we go into Brody Mayer now taking on James Abbott. And Brody Mayer continuing on after round number 1 at Winton, where he just outshone everybody on track in that SR, the 2.4 litre billet engine. And James Abbott still just not comfortable in the car, and you can really see that in the driving style when we see him at Sydney Motorsport Park, where he's been so confident. I suppose they've done a lot of changes to that car prior to round number 1 last year. They've rewired it, they've set up a different engine management and stuff, so they're still sorting through that one. Right now, though, let's go and catch up with Carly once again.
Matt Harvey, you didn't take it through to the top 4. What happened?
Unfortunately not. Look, it was a wicked battle with Dale. Like, we both pushed everything we had, and literally it could have gone either way. So congrats to Dale to getting the top 4, and he can take it all the way. I'm sure he can.
Yeah, it was a very tough battle. It was really intense out there, and you'd hate to be a judge, wouldn't you?
We went to a rerun, and literally they couldn't pick it first. So yeah, second rerun, obviously I did something that Dale didn't. So no, but congrats, like I said, congrats to him. He obviously had the better lead or better chase. So I'm sure he can take it all the way.
Well, wish you all the best of luck, and see you at round 3, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll definitely be at round 3, so see you there.
See ya.
Yeah, look, he's still got a smile on his face. It is a big trip, and they've got to get that on the barge over here. So they've, when we were talking about this in round number 1 last year, is that they've got to book that barge months in advance to get the car over. Now, if it comes over in a trailer, it costs a lot more to bring it over, but they're still committed to taking the car home between rounds to work on it. So they basically booked the barge for the entire season pretty much in the hope that they're going to keep making it out here. So that's super commitment from the crew, not just him, Brody Mayer, all the guys that come over from Tasmania. That is a big commitment.
Yeah, and talking about what we were talking about before with Battle of Attrition, they're doing this knowing full well that they've got a very fine window. They can't go damaging the car or compromising the car. They've got to drive it and keep it safe so it goes on and off the trailer between every round, because, yeah, if he hits a wall or if he hits another car or bangs something up, it's really going to hurt them knowing that they've got timelines and time frames to get that car back and forth across the ditch, down to Tassie.
Yeah, it reduces that time they get to work on it in the workshop. And, I mean, they've got their own events going on in Tasmania as well, a great community down there when it comes to the drifting. So, yeah, look, they've got super commitment to it, the series, and being part of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstar Series. So we shout out to Brody Mayer and, of course, Matt Harvey there. Unfortunately, doesn't make it through. Dale Campaign will keep the South Australian dream alive. Maybe Roger Hansen will do that as well, as they are coming out in our top 4 for the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category. We've still got our Zoo Performance Pro-Am, though, happening as Jason Hayden and Kurt Penrose Star. Well, we need to find out who the winner is out of that one. We still haven't found out that one, because although Kurt Penrose Star seems to be nursing, the car doesn't look like it's on power anymore. Some issues there. Jason Hayden did have a little bit of an off there throughout his run, so we'll have to wait and see. All right, so we are hearing, though, that we are going to get a rerun, though, between Jason Hayden and Kurt Penrose, which I'm not really surprised about, because although Jason Hayden looked like he had that one in the bag, he made that error, and I do believe that was 2 wheels out, which means that hurts your scores
That's
massively.
Exactly right, yeah.
Let's catch up with Carly.
Jason, you're about to go against SA's top driver. How does that make you feel? You look really stressed out, like really anxious.
Yeah, pretty anxious right now. They call him SA Gruner, Dale Champagne, the most consistent king of SA. So we're going to use that to our advantage and slam it on his door. I know he's a bit of a slow boy out there, so we'll use our grip to our advantage and take it to him like a man.
This team's intense. It's really intense. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and this is going to be one show to watch.
Thank you very much. Let's do it.
He's such a character, Jason Ferrin, and part of the Keep It Reek crew over there. They have a great time, Victoria. I know he's come over to South Australia and been part of some of their competitions as well, and a lot of banter going on in the background there. But don't be surprised if he tries to blind those mirrors there of Dale Campaign as he puts up the big purple monster there, the barrel wags, and tries to blind him. Here we go. Let's have a look at the battle tree, though. It's going to be Brody Mayer taking on Roger Ianson. Now, that one's going to be a tough one. And will the South Aussie of Roger Ianson stay in the battle? And will it be Dale Campaign with the win over Jason Ferrin after we just saw that rerun with Matt Harvey? That was a tough battle already. So look how hot it was out there. It's big, warm conditions. Will there be a bit of attrition there from the drivers? Will they lose that moment of, just in a moment there of concentration, with the heat there? Jason Ferrin, they only had to, he had to come out with the rerun as well. So they're working hard. They're drinking a lot of water there at the moment at the bend, and we'll wait and see if can Dale Campaign's car hang out, because we know that it's had a couple of little hiccups there. He seems to think it clears up when he gets out on track, but maybe that might be the advantage there for the barrel wagon there of Jason Ferrin.
Yeah, well, look, it's not only the cars getting hot, it's the drivers. As we said, you know, it's one thing for the cars to be operating and running on song, but when it's hot and when it's humid, you've got your helmet, your suit and everything on, you know, it's not nice to be in those cars. You sort of want to get in, do your job, get out, because, you know, at the end of the day, this heat can also be the definitive factor between you having a lapse of concentration, you know. Putting it where you want the car to go is also well with clarity of mind, but yeah, heat plays a big part. So I guess we've just got to see who wins the battle of man and machine right now.
Yeah, those walls are fairly ominous, I suppose, as you come in. You lose that little bit of concentration. Just grab a little bit of concrete, and we've seen the damage there with Scott Schembry's car when that can happen there. Just a moment, gets out on the dirt, it sucks you into the concrete. It's basically you knock the back of the car, it pulls the front end of the car around, and then you got to try and get that on trailer and get it home, and there's a lot of repairs to be done. So it puts you under a fair bit of stress. Dale Campaign and Roger Jansen, they being South Aussies and doing this track a lot, it's their home track. Many more laps than, I suppose, all the other drivers out there in the field. You think they would be comfortable, they know how far they want to push it, they'd be understanding of the changing conditions as the dust comes across the track. So maybe, just maybe, you think they would have a little bit of an advantage, but Brodie Mayer, I mean, can he do anything wrong?
Look, right now, he's just driving like a robot, you know, it's fantastic to watch. But yeah, the Newtown locals, all the South Australian boys that do lap and lap and lap here, that's it. They will know the points to pick when the track is going off. They'll know how to drive this track when the track is going off. So, you know, right now we're just watching some hometown heroes really taking advantage of being somewhere that they're familiar with. Yeah, we are, and we are hearing a little bit of talk in the background there, just updating some of our scores here. And it looks like Sam Mudge, unfortunately, from the Motorsports crew, has some mechanical issues there. So he's going to have to forfeit run. He called the 5 minutes. We did see him come out, and that's why we saw them go back in. He called 5 minutes. They have been unable to repair that car. So Sam Mudge now will actually go in the battle. If he can get a fix for the battle for the third position, he will have another opportunity. Maybe he can get on the last bit of the podium, or maybe Matt Murphy. Well, Matt Murphy's now going to go through to the final. Now, he's got himself a podium. No matter what, Matt Murphy now and Team Blast, the Canberran, is going to be cheering on because he's got himself on the podium there, because currently Sam Mudge is sitting fourth. He want to continue on, keep getting those points on. Matt Murphy's a bit further down in 13th position, so a good opportunity for him to try and catch up, especially with Brian Cruikshank being out so early. But this is a rerun. Jason Hayden and Kurt Penrose star. Kurt, obviously, like we say, our Zoo Performance with the Drift SA got the opportunity where they actually paid for him to come and race in the Pro-Am to sort of step him up, I suppose, into these big competitions, where we see Jason Hayden just made that little error in his lead run, which caused this rerun. That's it. He will be focusing very much on not doing what he did last time around. He'll be focused right now on trying to just put his car right up onto the inside door of Kurt, coming into turn one. Kurt throws it into turn number one, nice and wide. It's looking a bit happier this time. It's a bit more settled out there on track. Maybe some changes done to that car, giving an opportunity to cool down. Jason's doing a good job, just emulating what Kurt's doing. He's giving him room. He's watching where the car's being positioned, and he's doing his best to try and soak it all up and drive as close to possible. Just gives him enough room for the transition there as Kurt throws it down to the final corner, runs it out on the wall. Jason Hayden down low. Probably could have pushed that nose up a little bit more there. I reckon they got plenty of power in that one. It's that confidence to really go door to door alongside the car as we check out the Tri-Ace replay. And Kurt's car looks a lot better on this run, doesn't it? Does sound a lot nicer coming into turn one. Getting that car out nice and wide, focusing on floating it through this next corner here. Jason's doing a good job of just managing his proximity. They both dive into that inside clip. They've got plenty of nice, clean real estate in front of him. Kurt's doing a good job trying to get that car out wide, and Jason is just trying to link up and stay as close to Kurt as he can. On this flick through here, Jason probably could have got on the throttle a little bit earlier. Seemed to check up. He may have thought he was washing out to the wall. We don't know. A lot of dirt there. He may have just hit the slippery stuff. But let's see what they can do now when the battles and the roles are reversed. Here we go. Jason Hayden now in the lead. Let's hope he carries a lot more speed in this first corner. Throws it out. He's looking a little bit more comfortable into turn one than what Kurt is. So let's just see if he can keep the momentum through. He didn't take as much risk that time, did he, Jason? Look, he knows what he's got to do. You know, just drive a good line. It's up to Kurt now. The pressure's on him. He's got to try and follow and suck himself into that door of Jason's. Final corner, run it out wide is what the judges want. Not quite out on the wall, but still runs it mid-line. We'll have to wait and see what the judges say about this, because they are looking for the lead car to get on that line. But we did see the difference in proximity there with the chase runs. Check out the Tri-Ace replay.
Jason Hayden not as risky on this time as last time he went out a little bit wide and dropped 2 wheels in the dirt just after this part of the double apex.
He's definitely playing it safe now, knowing that that could win or lose this battle for him. So watching the way that they're getting through the rest of the track here, it's just a battle of attrition. They've both got jobs at hand. Jason's got to run that perfectly line. Kurt's got to try and emulate, get as close to that door as possible. So we'll just wait to hear back from the judges in a second.
Yeah, so the Zoo Performance Pro-Am, we'll wait and find out who the winner is on this one, and it looks like Jason Hayden is going to go through and battle it out for the #1 position there with Matt Murphy from the ACT. So Jason Hayden will be taking Matt Murphy in the final. Now to battle out for 3rd position will be Kurt and Sam Mudge, so Kurt Penrose Star and Sam Mudge. If Sam Mudge can manage to get that car fixed, that is going to be the biggest thing we need to talk about here. Will Sam Mudge manage to fix what has been a horrible weekend for him mechanically? He's going to be tired, he's going to be frustrated, but I'm sure there's a whole heap of drivers in that pit that are going to be willing to help him out, to see him battle out with Kurt, to see if he can just get that 3rd position to just really get a bit of confidence back after this weekend.
Look, I'm sure if there is something on that car of Sam's that can be fixed, that can get him out to that battle, there will be a whole host of guys, drivers, mechanics, friends, family, that will be doing their thing to get him running. The camaraderie that we see in this level of drifting, even though it is, you know, the top tier in Australia, these guys are all good mates. They're all good buddies. If a car breaks and it can be fixed, you'll see dudes take their helmets off to get their friends and their competitors' car back on track. So, yeah, Godspeed to Sam. Hopefully that car gets out there and he can put on a good show for the battle for 3rd.
That's exactly right. Just remembering the Zoo Performance sponsoring our Pro-Am series there. 1st place Zoo Harness this weekend. Zoo Steering Wheel for 2nd, and of course the Zoo Hat and Toe Strap for 3rd place. As we move on though to our Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars Pro category. And there it is, Brody Mayer leading the competition now in the points so far in the championship after Winton in round 1 10 months ago where we got started. It's been a while taking on Roger Ianson, the local, well, one of the local heroes, I suppose, in the S15. We'll have to wait and see from Brody Mayer. And the Bonnie Energy car has been super consistent all weekend. And look at him go away in the lead run. He's got the fresh tyres on too. I reckon he's hit a bit of dust out there, hasn't he? Because that's a lot wider than what we've seen him go.
Yeah, he had a moment of clarity there. I think he realised he put himself in a position where he didn't want to be. But let's just watch how he finishes off the rest of this front. Roger knows that he's dropped a wheel, so he's just got to stay on a clean, consistent run to bag as many points as he can, given the mistake of Brody.
Look at the speed, though, of this car. It'd be a shame not to see him go through to the final. I'll have to wait. Roger Ianson there does a nice job to check out the Trias replay. Throws the S13, though, Brody Mayer. The speed he takes off at. Just want to grab this angle there, and he's trying to wash that speed off. He knows he's got the grip when he stands on it, but he just needs to get it at the right point, doesn't he?
Yeah, that was very touch and go, that entry into turn 1. Awesome to watch, but is that what the judges wanted? We'll find out soon. Roger would have seen the dust settle up and go, okay, cool, beauty. I just got to do a nice, clean, safe run here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens now with Roger in the lead, how they're both going to play their runs.
Well, Brody Mayer can just put a whole lot of pressure onto him right now, knowing with that speed, and when he just seems to be able to put the car wherever he decides, I suppose, at the time. Like a lot of cars haven't pulled it up on that first corner, as Roger Ianson leads us out this time. Now what does he want to throw it down? Look at Brody Mayer going on the door.
Putting the pressure on, but we've seen that Brody's car has the speed advantage, so he will actually have probably a more difficult job at hand now, trying to slow the car down. Roger is a very skilled driver and a very good S15, but Brody's car just has a lot of mechanical grip. So we're going to see what happens here on the last corner on that switchback. Roger's going to put the power down, try and run away. Brody's just got to try and keep it nice and close just to finish the run off strong.
You can hear Brody just getting on and off the throttle, modulating it quite a bit there. Like you say, that change in speed. We saw how fast he was when he was in the lead runs. We check out the Tri-Ace replay now. Roger Ianson, he's got the mirror out that side too, so he knows exactly what's going on.
Look, Roger's a very good driver. He knows that he's going to have the pressure put on him, but he also is cool, calm and collected in situations like this. So looks like he's running a very ideal line. Nothing too crazy. He just knows he's got to get from point to point and put on a show for the judges. Brody's the one that's going to be just, all 3 pedals are going to be getting a massive workout in that car right now.
Hard one for the judges to decide there, because when we look at the chase run, you know Brody Mayer's put so much more effort into that chase run there. Look at the proximity we spoke about, but he's going to get penalised in his lead run, I think, for that first corner. Mind you, in the second half of that run, though, super impressive again. So, really hard one to judge. Look, I'm going to give that up to Mr. Dan Mackey, James Dean Martle, and of course Stewie Bryant, they are going to be deliberating, I would say, a lot on that one. They're going to be deliberating quite a bit. And we'll wait and see if we get a result up here, and I do believe we've had one come in. And Brody May is actually going to take the win over Roger Iance, and I think it might just be come down to that chase run there, the difference in that, the extra little points there. Remembering, you can still win a battle there. Doesn't mean you win by a lot of points. You bloody just win it. So you can make those points up in your chase run. That could be the difference. As we get the tyres, we scrub the tyres up there, the R1s, all thanks to Tri-Ace tyres. In the back of the Keep It Read R31 Barra Wags of Jason Ferrin. He's taking on the local hero, yes, the real Dale Campaign.
Yes.
Look, you think Dale Campaign have a little bit of an advantage here, just because of what we've seen him do, and he knows so much confidence there. The big step up for Jason Ferrin coming onto the semi-slicks, but he's got all the power. He's got the big Barra, the Aussie Barra in the Japanese R31. Let's see how this goes down. Dale Campaign, the GH Haulage S13 leads us away. How close is he going to get to this wall? That is the question.
Oh, there we go.
Jason Ferrin not afraid to go quarter to quarter there, and that is going to hurt him in the scores though, because he's managed to bump Dale Campaign off the line, and when the judges look at that, that's what they'll decide on. Dale Campaign though, eager to get that car back, and maybe some issues. Hopefully he hasn't bent anything in that car.
Jason did make it very clear in that interview just before that he was going to put it on the line, and he made it clear he was going to be getting as close as he can to Dale, and he's done just that. But has it done too much now to rule out both cars?
And this is the thing, you've got to risk it. Look at the speed he carries in the wagon, and he'll be dirty with himself, Jason Ferrin. That's not what he would have wanted to do. He's come in there knowing how quick Dale Campaign is and thought, well, the only way I'm going to win this battle is to match him, you know, kilometre for kilometre. And as I've come in there, he's just carried too much speed, and the wagon has gone through. So we might check out another Tri-Ace replay on this one here, just to try and dissect this one down. He's just checking every little moment of it, but whatever they've done to the Barra wagon,
looks like they've gone, well, I think they've almost gone wheel to wheel. So I wouldn't be surprised if they've got some bent steering arms or some bent control arms. I guess we just got to see what these guys think when they start driving and shaking the cars around.
well, Jason Ferrin's front wheel there didn't look too bad. He might not have made contact, but you know when you've got on lock there from Dale Campaign, that's come in with a wheel on lock, so he's probably the one that's going to have more damage. And we'll head down to Carly right now to find out.
I'm standing next to Jason Hayden with his S-Chassis 2J. Now, you're about to go up with Matt Murphy for the top prize. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. Me and Matt have battled twice before. We're one each, so this is going to be the decider, and what better way to meet up in the top spot.
And how's the car been going with this weather?
Today it's been going good. Yesterday we were fighting, just trying to dial grip out, but now it's a bit cooler. It seems like it's a bit slicker, so yeah, it's going all right today.
Is this your first time at the bend?
Yeah, first time at the bend and loving it.
And you haven't tapped the back wall, or you have?
Not today, no, thankfully. So midnight panels, you're all right.
Oh, wish you the best of luck on your final battle.
Beauty. Thanks, Carly. Cheers.
Yeah, Jason Hayden looking pretty excited to get there into the finals, and it's going to be a good one with him and Matt Murphy when it comes to the Zoo Performance Pro-Am.
Yeah, two guys with very good cars. They both know their cars very, very well, and they've both been very consistent today. You know, watching their battles throughout the course of the day, they both are very well at positioning where the judges want. They're good at carrying speed, so I think it's going to be very good to watch. Yeah, the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category underway at the moment, and we just saw Dale Campaign and Jason Ferrin go wheel to wheel. Ferrin in the chase run there made contact with Dale Campaign, so Campaign was very quick to get that off. He actually got to the pits very, very quickly. It'll be interesting to find out exactly what is going on down there. He will be taking the 5 minutes, I'm assuming, as we haven't seen him back out on track, to try and just judge if they've done any damage on that one. That's very unfortunate for Jason Ferrin, who thought, you know, he's starting to come into his own with this wagon. I suppose it's a new build, the car. He's only had it out at their local tracks in Victoria there as part of Keep It Reat to do a few laps, and we've seen him get down there and really show some promise there when it comes to speed and getting the car on angle. So the Acostal's design there, I suppose, in the front end doing its job, and Stewie Bryant obviously at the track, our judge this weekend, but behind the scenes I know they're sharing a lot of advice there, of course, with those Australian design knuckles there for the car. So they're doing a fair bit of work in the background there, and there would have been a fair bit of banter last night, I would say, when we go back to the hotel. And he said it. We're going to put it door to door with Dale. Right now, though, we're going to head back down to Carly.
Congratulations, you've just made it through to the final. You can see Roger doesn't look very happy. He's very upset back there. Look at his face over there.
Nah, look, it was an awesome battle with Roger. He threw down like a really good lead, and it was so much fun. Like, I'm loving driving this track. It's awesome.
And you've done so well. It's your first time out here, isn't it?
Yeah, first time at the bend. I think this layout probably suits my driving style a little bit, my car and stuff. So yeah, I'm stoked to be here, but it's a fun track.
Must be proud of that little SR20. I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely punching above its weight. So yeah, look, we'll keep pushing it, just loving it. So let's see what we can do. Hope we can bring home the bacon.
No worries. Good luck.
Thanks.
I love how they call that a little SR20. Now, let's be honest. That motor is an all-billet SR. Used to be in a time attack car. Makes huge amounts of horsepower for a 2.4 litre. It is highly strung.
Yeah, it is a very well packaged motor. Modest to say the least, saying it's a little motor. Punching above its weight, look, it is in terms of literage and capacity, but it is built to win, right? This car is built for horsepower, built to handle these high temp, high load, high boost conditions. So just shows that when you build a package right, everything works.
Yeah, no, and look, he does a lot of maintenance on that when it takes it back to Tasmania. That's why they take it back, because they pull that engine down to a lot of maintenance to keep that reliable. Right now, though, let's head back down to Carly.
Roger, you've done so well all day today. What happened out there?
Brody just got the jump on me off the line and I just couldn't reel him in. I was trying to run the tighter line to catch back up, but yeah, I didn't have an answer for him. He drove really well.
Well, I'm so glad to see you out here, and you know the car looks amazing as per normal. Just watch out for that wall next time.
Yeah, that's right. Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Back to you.
He's such a gentleman, isn't he, Roger? It was clear there, unfortunately. He just didn't get that proximity in the chase run. That might have been the difference when it comes to the judging. All we need to know, though, is Brodie Mayer's going through to fight it out to see if he can get back on the podium. Can he win 2 from 2, really, is the question at the moment. And who's going to be taking on? Will it be Dale Campaign or Jason Ferrin? It's going to be tough to have a look at that one, though. We've got some highlights of what's happened so far this afternoon here at the Hi-Tec Oils Drift Allstar Series. And it's been an interesting afternoon with some of the cars having mechanical issues. Just some slight little mistakes here. This is our Pro-Am series, all thanks to Zoo Performance. You can see it's Kurt Penrose Star there and Jason Hayden. Now, this is the battle to see who's going to take it on for first and second position there. And we first saw them come out. They end up having a rerun out of this first battle. Jason Hayden obviously keeping that proximity in the chase. And we saw there with Kurt, the car just seemed a little bit unhappy or underpowered now. So you're having a couple of little bit of issues possibly with that car. We're waiting to find out with that one. But Jason Hayden managed to keep that proximity. Remember, this is the Pro-Am class where we're running the street tyres. They're not as gripped up as what we see the Pro cars, which is why you see the speed difference there. It's noticeable when you watch them back to back, I suppose. But still, mate, they're having a great time out there and doing what they love here in the drifting there. And you see Jason Hayden gets away nicely on this one. A little bit more speed in the entry into turn number 1, this big double apex. And I was trying to see if this is the first run we saw them go through. And I think, no, this is their rerun there. You can see as Jason Hayden there just plays it a little bit safe that time, dials the speed back a fraction, doesn't want to go out too wide where we saw him lose those points by dropping tyres out in the dust.
Yeah, this was just a good celebration of getting back out and doing a rerun. Both these guys had battled one another before, so they're feeling comfortable and confident with each other's driving styles. Jason just did what he needed to do to win.
And here we go. This one was a big battle here. This is our top 4 to see who's going to go on the podium, or going to get a chance to fight out for first and second, as well as Brodie Mayer laying down in the Bonnie Energy car. And he goes wide and washes off a bit of speed, drops the tyre just on the dirt there. But it's just that car so set up. He managed to steer back. Roger Anson doing a nice job there, but he loses him at this point there. Once we get through the most technical part of the track, watch Brodie Mayer stand on it, get the boost up, and just drive away in the S13. And look at the gap he opens up.
That thing is so gripped up, it almost lifts up its inside wheel in the front every time it's leaning on a corner. It is a very, very well dialed car.
Roger Anson gets a chance to lead us out in this highlights package we're watching right now as part of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars, our Pro category. And here we go. Brodie Mayer just stuck it to the door of Roger Anson. Did a nice job to keep the line, Roger. A bit shallow there, but Brodie Mayer, just that car, just point and steer is where it's at the moment. He's got the confidence. He is one with the car.
He definitely is, and Roger's done a stellar job knowing he's got such a fast car behind him. He's staying very, very, very switched on. He's driving to the line. He's driving to what the judges want, even though he's got this Lessedine chomping at his heels.
Yeah, that one would have been very tight, I would say, in the judging scores, but it managed to be Brodie Mayer who's going to go out to fight out for the top position. Then we saw Dale Campaign, Jason Ferrin now. This didn't get too far into the battle before we had an incident there, and Dale Campaign, those big entries, and Jason Ferrin tries to match him, and just the weight of the wagon, I think, coming around there, and couldn't pull it up in time. It's unfortunate. They lock front wheels there. Did grab that. They did lock front wheels there, but Jason Ferrin Looks like they pulled that back, but Dale Campaign didn't muck around. He basically just got that car started, drove it straight off the track. So we're waiting to find out exactly what's going on with Dale Campaign, Jason Ferrum, because the judge is probably going to rule in favour of Dale Campaign there. For Jason Ferrum, that's a bit unfortunate, but can Dale Campaign now come out? Can he do the chase run there? Will Jason Ferrum get a chance there to redeem himself?
Well, yeah, we'll see that very, very soon. You know, Jason put it on the line. He made it very clear that he was going to put the pressure on Dale. And it looks like they both paid the price right now, potentially upsetting each other for the runs coming ahead. Out here now, we've got Sam Mudge and we've got Kurt Penrose Star for the battle for third. So these guys have done plenty of laps. I think Sam, he had that issue before, didn't he?
Yeah, he had an issue in the last round, which is why he pretty much forfeited his run against Matt Murphy. So he's managed to get an opportunity now to battle it out for third or fourth position. Remember that he is currently sitting fourth in the championship. So he got himself fourth place at round number 1 at Winton. Murray River Motorsports entry there. They've got Juara RB20 on board. We're taking on the Zoo Performance, well, Rising Star, I suppose. It came out of Drift SA where they gave him an entry into the Zoo Performance Pro-Am category this weekend. And Kurt will lead us out in this battle. Sam Mudge, who missed out on the last battle as he got the car fixed or he brought out an injured animal. We'll have to wait and find out. Throw it in the first corner there as Kurt goes nicely, pulls it up on the handbrake a bit. Mudge managed to get that proximity back.
Oh, Mudge is at a bit of a straight, and I think he just got balked a little bit by Kurt there in the lead. Kurt looks like he's trying to pull away, but Sam is now just re-evaluating the speed and the grip of the car ahead. It's up to Kurt now to try and put that car with the judges one, so Sam can continue to run his chase line. Now let's just see how they flow through this last corner. Sam has pulled up too shallow, had a second stab at it. Kurt looks a little bit unsettled. Not sure if the grip's playing and wreaking havoc on these guys now, but they sort of lacked a little bit of fluency there.
Yeah, we'll check out the Tri-Ace replay. Kurt leading on this one. Mudge just didn't quite get the start he probably wanted. Maybe he's just holding back a bit, that confidence, I suppose, with the lead driver in front of you, a different driving style. Remembering that with the RB20, you lose a lot of torque at that small bottom end. So we find the guys that really stick to the RB20s have to keep the RPM up. So a slower car in front of them will create that drama with the low down torque where they can't slow the car down. It'll be very interesting come the lead run for Sam Mudge with see a very different driving style.
That's it. He has boost as his only weapon of choice here. So he's got to keep, that's it, his RPM high and his car speed high to keep spool high. So if he gets balked or slowed down, and unfortunately it takes a second or two to bring the momentum of that motor back up into its power band so that he can continue to drift aggressively. So yeah, we'll see if the roles are reversed now in the lead. We'll see if Sam can keep that speed high that he wants to have in the car. And we'll see if Kurt can do what he needs to do to keep up nice and close.
Yeah, just waiting to kick things off. It's the battle for third position in our Zoo Performance Pro-Am category right now. Who's going to get on the final rung of the podium here? Well, thanks to Zoo Performance, who will get the Zoo hat and toe strap as part of the third place package. Zoo Performance doing some fantastic products. Don't forget fuel rails, fuel lines, fittings, you know, water lines. Doesn't matter whatever your lines are. They've got all the fittings for it. They've got all the hoses, turbos, dips, everything they go. Sam Mudge now comes out. How does he go? Is it a very different lead run to what we saw him in the chase where he just struggled with the pace? Kurt seems to get away very, very quickly, but Mudge sets himself up in a line he's much more comfortable with. You can hear the RB20 now with a lot more RPM this time.
Looking a lot more comfortable now that he's in the lead and he can let that little 2-litre sink.
Those poor little pistons getting worked hard, a lot of boost being thrown down. Look at him move away from Kurt.
You can definitely see a difference in driving style once he's got an open track ahead of him and he can really let the car stay in its happy place.
And that's what we spoke about, isn't it? That torque down low where when you've got the lead car, when you're the lead car there, you're in your own element. You know exactly what you've done lap after lap after lap here now. You know what gear you need to be. You know what RPM you need to keep it above. And look at the Tri-Ace replay here. Sam Mudge much more comfortable in the lead run on this one. Showing his skills there in the S13. Sticks it out high in that last corner too. Really tries to ride the wall as much as he can. Remembering they're carrying a lot less grip than our pro cars. They've got the street tyres on.
Yeah, giving Limiter a little bit of a tap there. You can see he's happy and proud of how he drove in the lead.
Look, it's a bit of a celebration, I think, when it comes to that. So it's always a little bit of a celebration when you finish it. You've had a good run. You're confident about that lead run. And we're just waiting to see who's going to end up on the podium. So we will do that, obviously, with our trophy presentations. But who will it be? Will it be Sam Mudge or Kurt Penrose Star? We'll have to wait for our presentations when it comes to the Zoo Performance Pro-Am. Can't wait. we'll dissect that down. But, of course, who is going to take 1 and 2? It's going to be Jason Hayden and Matt Murphy from Team Blast who are going to take this one. They're going to battle it out, and you can see Jason Hayden just warming the tyres up there. Now we see Matt Murphy, that brightly coloured, I mean, what do we call that? Is that a fruit burst?
Yeah, it's psychedelic, isn't it? It's hard to say what the best way to describe it is.
The name of the team says it all, doesn't it? So it really sort of matches what that is. The R33, though, bright. Can it get the win here? Unfortunately, he's a bit further down. Didn't go his way in round number 1 at Winton 10 months ago. He's down in 13th position in the championship. He's only got 40 points, so this is going to help him. Sam Mudge in that last one, we'll have to wait and see where he ends up, because he's currently 4th in the championship and getting a swag of points. When you remember, Brian Cruikshank went out very, very early in this one.
Yeah, it was a shame to see Brian go out of battle contention so early on, but just goes to show that, you know, you've got to be on your A game, you've got to drive to the conditions at all times, and at the end of the day, you know, it's a championship. Anybody can win. Either way for Jason Hayden, he's a bit further down the championship. It's going to be a good finish for him. Here we go, Jason Hayden will chase down Matt Murphy. Matt carrying lots of speed into that entry, running nice and wide, going into turn 1. He sets himself up really well for this corner, doesn't he? He flows the car through. He gets a very nice radius. Oh, the Team Blast R33 now, Matt Murphy. Keeping that angle going as well, maintaining the speed. How far out does he go on the wall on this one? Jason Hayden's going to have to jump down. That's it, Jason's getting himself sucked into Matt's door in that last corner. Both cars look very evenly gripped. They look like they've very much got very similar speed. So it's good to see these two evenly matched cars going head to head. The Tri-Ace replay up on screen at the moment. You see Matt Murphy tries to pull away, but Jason Hayden has enough power there to stay with him. Look at the first corner here. Murphy throws it out super wide, uses all that outer clipping zone there, but doesn't manage to go out and drop a tyre. So that is maximum use of the track. He judged that transition into one very, very well. You can see he's done lots of laps here this weekend. Both these guys by this point now are feeling very confident not only in the cars but the track. So it's showing, you know, we're getting a very good display of drive, as fitting for the last battle. And it's really getting that first double apex right, so you line yourself up into the second corner, and then after that it's a nice flowing line. All right, is Jason Hayden though. He's going to want to be on the top spot in the podium. He's not going to just give this one to Matt Murphy. We'll have to wait and see. He made a couple of errors in his earlier runs, didn't he, when he came to the lead? Pushed it a little bit too hard, and looking at the confidence there of Matt Murphy in that lead run, maybe Jason Hayden's going to try and throw this one down. Can he push it out as far as what Matt Murphy does? But then you risk making those mistakes. Now he just needs to put a run together. Matt Murphy needs to do everything he can for proximity. It is all about going door to door now with Jason Hayden, putting it on the line. Could it be his first win when it comes to a Hi-Tec Drift Series? Maybe he's going to get his first ever round win here for the Hi-Tec Oils Allstars Series. I think both of these guys now, nerves will be at an all-time high, and they'll both be wanting to drag race off of this line as best as possible. Matt's job now is to just mimic and watch Jason as he gets off the line, and Jason's job is really just to make sure that he gets as much speed into turn 1 as possible to try and get a gap on Matt. Thumbs up from the starter of Jason Hayden. Matt Murphy's going to try and maintain that proximity. How are they going to throw this one down? Hayden goes out nice and wide as well. Murphy, though, just needs to keep there. Lines off a little bit of angle. Contact made. Oh, no, not for Matt Murphy. That's not what he wanted, but they'll be trying to... We'll have to have a look at the replay on this one. This is going to be super critical to find out what was the cause of the contact. That was difficult to see from what we can see right now. Hopefully it wasn't too much of a check up of speed. Matt may have just tried to carry a little bit too much in to gain the upper hand into that long sweeping corner. Here we go, the Tri-Ace replay, and we'll see if we get a different angle on this one. Hayden takes away. We're watching Matt Murphy in the background now. We're looking to see how much handbrake, if there was any. Just moments of it. He picks up the throttle here, tries to drive, and just tags that right rear of Jason Hayden by the looks of things. Maybe a bit of anticipation. He thought maybe Hayden was going to accelerate a little bit earlier there. It's very hard as a chase driver there to know what's going to happen in front. It just looked like Matt didn't want to follow the line of Jason as much into that corner. Jason had his line set and predetermined, and I think Matt just had a slightly different idea of where he wanted to put the car, and it just didn't pay off. No, and it's all a bit of a risk it to get the biscuit, I suppose. You know, you've got to
assume that the driver in front might be suiting your driving style and put it there. We'll have to wait and see how that one plays out and see what the judges decide to say in that one. Of course, we will have our podium coming up a little bit later as we've got Carly down on the ground. She's going to be going through and giving out all the awards to our podium winners a bit later on. Can't wait to see who that might be in our Zoo Performance Pro-Am. Don't forget, at Hi-Tec Drift AU, if you want to get on there and follow us on Instagram. Of course, if you're at the track, make sure you hashtag all your photos there with Hi-Tec Drift Australia or Hi-Tec Oils. And of course, we love sharing all everything that happens, I suppose, as part of the series. We love sharing it with you and all the people watching us around on social media. For all of us joining us on the live stream, we're glad we could bring you round number 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstar Series from the Ben Motorsport Park in South Australia, just about an hour out towards the Murray Bridge area there. It's a fantastic facility. It is probably one of the best facilities in Australia where it's been built purposely. This area where the drifting gets undertaken is, I suppose they've used people involved in the drift community to help design that as well. So we've got a number of layouts we can use. Today we've picked a fairly technical in the first couple of corners, a double apex, a sharp second-hand corner there, and then it's fairly flowing after that where it's high speed. You can get door to door and it really promotes that chase run. And we really need to, we'll check out some of the highlights there and you'll see exactly what we're talking about when it comes to the Hi-Tec Drift All-Star Series. And here we go. It's going to be Kurt taking on Sam Mudge. Now, this was a battle there for third position in our Zoo Performance Pro-Am there. And Kurt Penrose's star gets underway there with a bit of speed. Sam Mudge, and we debated this about whether it's the poor little RB20 there, just want to stay in the RPM. And you see a little bit of straight in there, which, you know, just trying to get up on the inside of the lead driver there. Very hard to get back on the power now, and he's having to reset that car.
Yeah, it's a bit of an uncomfortable position to be in when you know the car wants to be accelerating that a little bit more than what you can actually do in the chase position. So it can be frustrating, especially for Sam being in that little 2-litre. He's sitting back knowing that that car wants another 2,000 RPM thrown at it, but unfortunately it just couldn't happen. But we saw when he was in the lead that he started to just be able to breathe some fresh air into that motor and, you know, let the RPMs rise, which we're about to see now.
The Tri-Ace replays and highlights are really what shows that up as we look at Sam Mudge this time. Now, this was the lead run. As you said, looked a lot more comfortable in it. Gets the speed up there. Once the RB20's up in that RPM, look at it go.
Yeah,
Kurt just trying to set himself up, isn't he, to get that angle right in the first, well, that second corner really, flow through that double apex.
Yeah, definitely. And you could see that he was watching and trying to emulate Sam Mudge's line as best as he could too. Sam, obviously now with a bit of fresh air in front of him, can keep the wheel speed high and run. And you could see that Kurt was doing his best job to try and mimic that.
Look at him running the wall there and up on the accelerator there. It's pushed to the firewall, just trying to get everything he can out of the RB20, and that was a tough battle. We'll wait to see who's going to win that one. But right now, let's go down to Carly.
I'm standing next to Matt Murphy. That was one intense battle. How's your R33? What happened?
It was a pretty good battle. I was feeling confident going up against Jason. He slowed up a bit more than what I was expecting in the turn 2 there, and my wheel just locked up after connecting with his rear quarter, and it pivoted me on that point. So it is what it is, but it was a good battle and I'm pretty happy to be where I am, so no complaints there.
You've done fantastic all day. Do you want to tell us a bit about your R33 since we haven't interviewed you yet?
Yeah, pretty, it looks the part, but it's pretty basic. The standard RB25 in it with just a few bolt-ons. Makes 300 kilowatt on E85. Standard diff, Speed-Tech gearbox, and other than that, it's pretty much standard.
I do admire you taking the R33 out because it is the longest wheelbase Skyline out there, so going up against an S chassis is really actually difficult.
Yeah, it's definitely a big girl compared to the S chassis, but I've got it pretty dialed now and it's what I'm used to. So yeah, with the Speed-Tech gearbox and Exetti clutch, it works well for me and gets me around the track.
Awesome. All right, nice to chat with you. Thank you.
Chat with you. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'll take that car back to the Canberra and work on that one, of course. He's got his own little workshop there and get that dialed in with Team Blast. I'm sure Elliot and the boys are there watching, having a bit of a brew there as if they're not there already, they'll be watching the live stream and cheering him on. Unfortunately, look, we're probably going to figure out on your own maybe who's won that one. We'll have to wait and find out because our trophy presentations will be coming up a little bit later, all thanks to Zoo Performance in the Pro-Am category. Remembering, though, that second place is going to get a steering wheel and first place is going to end up with that Zoo harnesses. Now, if you're Matt Murphy, if you do end up, which we don't, look, I'm going to say we probably won't see him on the number 1. We're probably going to see him on the number 2 there after that incident. But if you're Matt Murphy and you get the harnesses, surely they've got a bright enough colour to match the car. Surely.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he can ask to see the rest of the catalogue, get himself a bright pink or a bright yellow. But look, nonetheless, yeah, shout out to Zoo again for supporting Pro-Am and just getting guys out to compete, you know.
All right. Carly, you're down there in the pits.
Jason, that was one intense battle. How'd that feel?
Yeah, it was good. It was good to throw it down with Matty. He's a good driver and he doesn't play any games. So, yeah, it was good to take it, that's for sure.
Now, there was a bit of contact there, but you made it through.
Yeah, that's right. I think I jinxed midnight panels in that last conversation we had. So, but yeah, that's part of drift, you know. It's what it is.
That's it. Well, good luck on the next round.
Beautiful. Thank you, Carly. Thanks, guys. Peace.
Well, he looks pretty happy there, I'd say. He's pretty confident he's going to end up somewhere on top of that podium, and we'll wait to find out because their trophy presentation will be coming not too far away. Now, remembering that we still haven't got to the finals of our Pro Series, all thanks to Hi-Tec Oils there, because Jason Ferrin and Dale Campaign made contact in that first run. Now, there's been an opportunity there, I think, for Dale Campaign to maybe do some running repairs and Jason Ferrin to check out the R31 wagon, but he did come in as a chase car and make contact with Dale Campaign, so we believe the advantage is going to go to Dale Campaign in this one so far. But it's not over because Jason Ferrin hasn't had his lead run. Now, we know there was a war of words earlier, so a good bit of banter going on in the pits between himself and Dale Campaign. So, look, they'll be in there, I'm sure. The crew behind the scenes would have been helping both cars to get repaired. And a lot of respect going on between these two drivers with Jason Ferrin. What's he going to do with the barriers? You're going to put the foot down and hope that those R1 stay glued up. The Tri-Aces, can he get the big speed? Check out the entry on this one. Throws the wagon down along the wall. Campaign maintaining that proximity but doesn't make contact in the first corner.
Jason doing a very good job of moving that big car around, putting it where the judges want it. Dale, knowing that the advantage is probably going in his favour, he's going to do his best job just to mimic, but give himself a bit of room behind to check up on any potential issue that Jason may have. But Jason's doing a stellar job. Look at that. You would know he's in a big R31 with the way he's handling that thing.
No, and Dale Campaign, you can't even see the car in the smoke behind, but I think maybe just taking that pressure off him as we check out the Tri-Ace replay. There's no pressure to win this one now. You've already had a massive disadvantage there, and it's going to be, I suppose we're going to come to the assumption that he's probably not going to win this battle there in the Keep It Reet wagon, but he just lays down a killer lead run in this one, and it's the best run we've seen out of the wagon all weekend.
This is definitely an expression session run for him. Like you said, knowing that the disadvantage is going against him for that contact before, he's just outputting all 580 kilowatts to the tarmac to try and kill those tyres so he doesn't have to put another set on.
I'm sure he wants to put another set on after this weekend. Remembering that we always want to, don't we, as drivers? We always want to put another set of tyres on. But look, he's still going to get the chance, though, if he doesn't win this, because we do not have it confirmed, but we're making a bit of assumption here in the studio, is that if he doesn't get this, he's still got to take Roger Ianson on if he ends up losing this battle, and potentially he could still end up on the podium in third position.
That's true. There's still some champagne to spray potentially for him, so we'll just wait and see what happens. We'll just, we'll just sit patiently.
Yeah, he could still be tasting the good champagne there on the podium. We do not know what's going to happen here in the pro category at the Hi-Tec Oils Drift Allstars here this afternoon. We're down to our top four. We're just deciding who's going to go and battle it out for 1 and 2. We do believe it's going to be Brodie Mayo. He's definitely going to be battling it out to see if he can get himself a win. This could be could get 2 wins from 2 rounds. That is the story here. Is Brodie Mayo, the Tasmanian, going to come over and just clean sweep this series? Well, it's a good start. We're looking like it could be. Roger Ianson, the South Australian, didn't quite get the advantage over Brodie Mayo, so he's going to battle out for third position. I do believe that may be up against Jason Ferrin. We'll wait to confirm that one there, and it looks like we can confirm it now. We have got the results come in. It's going to be Dale Campaign, the local guy in South Australia there is going to be taking on Brodie Mayo. Now, that is going to be a throwdown there because Dale Campaign has been running that first entry wall there. We've seen the sides of the wing get smashed off before, and they are going to be in the final battle there for first and second position. In the battle for third, though, is going to be Roger Ianson and Jason Ferrin to see who's going to take home the spoils of third place there and still get that spot on the podium and get a whole heap of points when it comes to the championship. Great to see so many people joining us here at the Bend Motorsport Park. So many configurations around this place. You can see the racetrack in the background. We've got the drift track over this side, used for so much, much like Sydney Motorsport Park, I suppose, the multi-configuration there. And we're so glad that we could finally make it there. We've been trying to get there for a couple of years, but with all the events that have been happening around the world, it's just really been a hindrance to getting those results to make it over there as part of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstar Series. But we're here now. It's been a fantastic day today, and it's not over yet. We've still got the finals now. Right now, though, we're going to head down to Carly.
Dale Campaign, that was one intense run. How did that feel?
Yeah, felt pretty hard when he hit me, but look, Jason was pushing hard. Obviously didn't do it on purpose, so that's drifting. massive thanks to all the boys for getting the car back on the track because, yeah, it was pretty damaged, a few arms bent. But, yeah, we got it back, did a pretty safe run behind Jason, knowing we had the 10-0 advantage. So, yeah, now Brodie Mayer. So it's going to be a tough one. He's pretty quick out there, and I've been watching him drive. He's, yeah, he's going to be one to beat, I reckon.
Yeah, that's it. Well, he did win the round one, so it is going to be an intense run now.
100%, yeah. Look, we're going to push as hard as we can, and look, we got second at worst, so yeah, he's going to throw everything we got at it, and fingers crossed we get the win.
Awesome. Well, best of luck, and we can't wait to see this. This is going to be amazing.
It's never a bad day when you get the opportunity to battle for first position, is it?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think this is what we all drive for. You know, this is why we come to these events. We travel, we make the sacrifices because it comes down to what's about to happen here. You know, when you're competitively drifting, you want to be on the top step. You know, everyone's your friend at their party weekends. They're fantastic, lots of driving, lots of fun, but this is ultimately what we're all competing for. You know?
He had a bit of race face on, didn't he, old Dale Campaign? I sort of thought he's already focused on this battle. You could see he was talking to us, but he wasn't quite there. He's got Brodie Mayer, and he would have been watching him all weekend going, who is this guy? He's come from Tasmania. I'm sure he's watched him. He follows him on social media. He's gone, this guy is that good. It's not just that he came out in round number one. It's not just that he wins lots of events in Tasmania. He is actually a good first time at the bend, and he's really keeping up with these guys like Dale Campaign, who won, are on the same level as him, but have the experience of this track. And Brodie Mayer's a new gun when it comes to the track. He's really throwing it down, and that's going to be a real battle for third position. Remember, we could have some reruns in this one. If the judges can't pull them apart, we could go to several reruns in this one. We'll have to wait and find out how long this afternoon's going to be drawn out. Right now, though, we're going to head back to Carly.
Oh, sorry, guys. Here we go. We got Jason here. We're about to battle up for third place. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. I told you Dale was slow.
Oh.
But yeah, pretty keen. The car's feeling awesome. We just had a bit of a bent steering. Realigned her in 5 seconds. Ready to go.
Ready to go. All right. Good luck out there.
We love having Jason on the broadcast because he is, well, he's a personality, I suppose, and he's right. I told you Jason was slow. He's going to throw it in there. It's a big wagon, though, to pull up, isn't it? That's a whole lot of weight when you get at that speed.
Oh, it definitely has some momentum behind it, and that's exactly right. It's not exactly a ballerina in the terms of some of the other cars he's been competing against. You know, big wheelbase, big chassis. Yeah, it doesn't stop and turn as elegantly as some of the other cars he's competing against. But look, he's a cool character. He's just out there having fun, just throwing out good vibes. You know, it's good to see that he's out there battling for a trophy.
Oh, and they keep it recrew. I mean, they've colour-coded his gloves. He's got the Zoo Performance, the purple gloves on as well. So they've even the harnesses as well. So they've colour-coded that car up. It is a flashy bit of gear. And look, the Barra's no, I suppose, small engine in the front either. It's cast iron, it's heavy, makes big power, but it's a heavy engine in the front. So you like to say, a lot of momentum behind that car. And he's going to be up against a bit more of a nimble car, I suppose, here for Roger Hansen, the S15. It's going to get around this track probably a little bit easier if he makes a mistake. Then that's really what it is. If Jason Ferrin can get the wagon in the right line, and especially when it comes to his lead run, it's going to be very easy for him, I suppose. But when he's in the chase, that's where it is. If it's not the same line he's used to, he's got to try and move that car. It's not as nimble with that big weight and that big wheelbase.
No, that's exactly right. Roger being in the chassis that he's in, he can be a lot more explosive with his movements. The car can jump from track position to track position, and he can make very minute adjustments that actually make big changes. Jason, though, has to be a little bit more relaxed in the way in which he tries to drive the car, because it won't respond to those quick transitions, you know. So he sort of has to give himself a little bit more time to just make everything happen. But he's lucky that he's got lots of luck with that Acostal kit. You know, he's got the big horsepower barra, so he's got all the ingredients there. Everything just happens just that little bit slower. So he's got to try and be ahead of the game, I think.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to the drive here, and Jason Ferrin. Well, you're Roger Hansen, you saw how fast that Jason Ferrin threw it in against Dale Campaign. You've got to be looking in that rear vision mirror, I reckon. You've got to be going, well, how fast am I going to push it? But will that play a part here with Jason Ferrin? Will Jason decide now, I might just back it down in turn number one on the chase run? And that isn't always the way you want to be. So Jason Ferrin chasing down Roger Hansen now in the battle for third position here at the Hi-Tec Oils Drift Pro category, the Drift Allstars. Ferrin comes in a bit more shallow that time, doesn't do the big throw, and Roger Hansen throwing it out wide. Here we go, nice line for Hansen there in the lead. Ferrin matched him, just comes to the inside, puts the nose there, they transition nicely.
You can see Ferrin's using all of that horsepower right now to try and keep that car sucked up the inside of the 15-disc chasing of Roger Hansen. was a little bit disadvantaged into turn 1, but he has basically been like a magnet to the door of Roger. Roger's obviously underpowered in comparison. Did a stellar job getting from point to point, but Jason just basically decimated those tyres, keeping up.
It's a tri-ace replay. Check this one out. What I want to know is they had to fix some of the alignment on that car at the front. Whatever alignment they found is working for Jason Ferrin right now. As you check out the Keep It Reed wagon up on Roger Jansen, has to come down the inside there to keep that proximity. But look at the transition, there's nothing in it. Another layer of wrap, and that would be touching.
Roger's done a beautiful job in the lead to give himself the best chance he can of trying to run away from Jason, but Jason's just ripped up. He's done a great job emulating, and it paid off in a beautiful lead and chase battle.
Poor tri-aces have had the top knocked off him there from Jason Ferrin. How's he going to go against Roger Jansen in the lead? Has to scando the big wagon. He keeps that wide. Jansen dives down very shallow though on that one.
Roger knows that he's got to try and do the best jobs he can now in the chase, given that Jason was stuck to him. So it's up to Roger now to be real aggressive, get those transitions happening earlier, try and read what Jason's doing before it happens to just stay up on that ball.
Well, the barrel wags are looking to open up this gap, the grip and speed that he's got out of this thing. Whatever they have done to that steering, do not change it.
No, I think he's definitely been pressing Page up on the boost button too. That car looks like it's got a lot of power to the rear treads right now.
The tri-ace replay you really showed here. Roger Jansen sticks with him side to side at this point. Scando in though, as Jason Ferrin throws in the Keep It Reed R31. Jansen there just gives it a bit of a clutch kick. Nice smooth line there though from Jason Ferrin in the lead. Bit of curve there from Roger Jansen in the background. He's really struggling at this point, I think, to keep that proximity.
Yeah, I think his tyres, he probably doesn't have the grip there that he wanted. So you can see he's trying to overdrive it just to keep it up on Jason. Jason's putting a lot of smoke out, so he's still got a fair bit of tread on those tyres. Roger, however, I think was tippy-toeing a little bit, maybe had a little bit of lack of grip, or just some more worn tyres. But look, valiant effort by both guys. That was a good lead and chase.
That was a good lead and chase, and that's what we like to see. Now, that was the battle now for third position. So we'll find out very shortly because, of course, we will have our trophy presentations at the end of this battle. Once we know who's the winner out of these two, we will have our trophy presentations for the Zoo Performance Pro-Am and, of course, our Hi-Tec Oils Pro category. Who will it be? We're not quite sure. Will Jason Ferrin get the number 3 position, or will it be Roger Jansen? Either way, it's going to be exciting. But now, though, it's going to be who's going to be our winner here this weekend. Will Brody Mayer go 2 from 2 when it comes to the Hi-Tec Allstar Series? He got Winton. Will he get the Ben, or will it be the local hero, the real Dale Campaign? Will he make it up on the top of the podium? Either way, he's going to take home some silverware here this weekend. 2 tough competitors. They've got to have a very similar setup, I'd say, in the chassis. It's very nimble there from Brody Mayer, though. That car just seems to be point and steer at this point.
Both cars are very well set up. Both drivers know exactly what they need to do here to get on that top step. Both have experienced and tasted wins before, so look, neither of them are going to leave much on the table here. They know what they need to do. They understand how each other drives as well. So don't be surprised here if we see 2 of the best lead and chase runs that we'll see all day. It'll get saved to the last run here that we're about to watch. So let's just see and hope that we get a good exhibition.
All right, I'm expecting, you know, they're going to go door to door. These are the 2 that have made it through some of the epic battles. They've had to make it here to the final here of the Hi-Tec Oils Pro Series, the Pro category here for the All-Star Series. It's round number 2 at the Bend Motorsport Park. Brody Mayer is going to lead us out on this one. Dale Campaign, who is the local hero here. He's had to fix the car recently, Jason Ferrin. He made a little bit of contact when it came to battle to see who was going to get this on Brody Mayer. They're side by side. Campaign not going to give him any gap. Here they go, they throw down. Mayer, big slide, almost backwards, entries into that first corner.
That was a beautiful initiation by Brody. He doesn't care what he's battling for. That was a throwdown if I've ever seen one.
Look at the speed he carries here. Campaign's got to wheel up on the ripple strip trying to catch him. The proximity. Mayer just grabs a little bit of dirt on the outside. Car gets a little bit more angle than he probably wanted to. This final corner. Campaign brings up the proximity, goes door to door. Wow, that was a battle that we have wanted to see all day after knowing if a stutter there for Campaign. He didn't want to let Mayer get away, didn't he? Knowing the speed of this car.
You watch, he battles tit for tat going for horsepower down the straight, but gives Brody a little bit of room going into turn 1, knowing full well that he's going to just throw it in. Dale establishes where Brody's car is and now knows that he's got a job to do, and that's just stay as close as he can. Brody looks to drop a wheel slightly here on the outside clip, which looks like it sort of unsettled him just a tiny bit. You see him wash out a small margin, choke up some speed. Dale uses that as his advantage to get up on the door, and they cross the finish line toe-to-toe.
Yeah, looking at that tri-ace replay, it looks like he's just got off the throttle for a second there, Brody Mayer. Just had to get it like he's got that side, but look at the control and knowing your car, being one with your car, he just felt it. Here we go, Dale Campaign going to lead this one. Will he do the big entry? We know he likes to ride the wall. The wing's back on the side, he's back on the wing. Doesn't knock it off this time. Mayer slides it up on the inside there. Is he going to give it the kiss? Doesn't quite do it. Look at Mayer just positioning the car there side by side, emulating him as they transition. Reads that transition a little bit early and gets it done.
Just the grip that Mayer's car's got is phenomenal. He's able to just put that car wherever he wants. Oh, Dale looks like he got a little bit of an issue. Did he miss a gear? Did he choke up? I don't know what happened just then, but that car stalled momentarily.
And we did have that little bit of an issue early, didn't he? So it cleared up out on track. Let's check out the tri-ace replay. Dale Campaign leads us out on this one, Brody Mayer. It's the finish we wanted. Two of the most exciting drivers of the weekend.
It's a beautiful big entry from Dale. Left the wing plate on that rear spoiler though this time, so he played it a little bit safer, but still a fantastic entry. Brody right on the door, not giving him an absolute inch pressure. He obviously transitioned a little bit early there, trying to get the drive out of that corner. Could have hurt him, but he gathered up quickly. Now we see here Dale have a little hiccup. Did he have that little issue rear its head that he was talking about the car having earlier? It may have had a quick little misfire, could have lost power, something could have gone on, but he's done his best to finish that run strong.
And Brody Mayer saw that. You see, he just gets off it a little bit early in that replay there, all thanks to tri-ace tyres, and lets him just have a little bit of room there. Maybe he just thought he was coming out a little bit wide there for Dale Campaign, because we've seen so many people that go wide, they get sucked into that concrete wall. So maybe it's a mechanical issue. Maybe he just, I suppose, went on the side of caution there. I don't know, but that could be the difference when it comes down between those two to see who is going to be the winner here today, round 2 at the Ben Motorsport Park of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift Allstar Series in the pro category. That could be those tiny little things. And like I say, when we talk about the judging, it's not necessarily about judging up to 100. Sometimes you've got to start at 100 and actually look for the mistakes, because when we look at those, they're minute mistakes. So it's like, what was worse? Well, just a couple of points here and a couple of points there. It's very hard to go up in the ranks when we get to this level of drifting.
Yeah, definitely. The judges have got a very hard job ahead of them right now. Both guys were very clinical in the way in which they put the cars in the position that they needed to be. They both ran very, very good lead runs. The only hiccup I think that was between both those drivers then was that little mishap with Dale at the end. Did he have a mechanical? You know, did he check up? Did he hit some of the greasy part of that dirty part of the track and go, hang on, I don't want to hit this wall? You know, we won't know. But if that is the only thing that decides first and second, you know, you can just really see how good these guys are.
Oh, look, the respect between the drivers out there too. I mean, they're having a fantastic time here at round number 2 at the Ben Motorsport Park for the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars. I mean, the other thing you remember, Brody Mayer just grabbed a little bit of dirt on his lead run there. How much of that tyre actually went off? You know, the judges at trackside, they've probably got a bit better vision than what we do in the studio. So how much of that will play a part? Will it even out? Will we have a rerun because of that? You know, there could possibly be those tiny things there where we could have a rerun, but I do believe, I am getting a message come in right now, that we do have some results. So we are going to have a podium. We've got some results. I cannot wait till we go live to find out exactly who that's going to be. Let's check out some of the highlights, though, of this afternoon when we get to our top 4. So this was our highlight there. This is 1 and 2. Who's going to be 1, who's going to be 2? Let's check out the highlights, all thanks to tri-ace tyres as they throw it down. This was Brody Mayer's lead run. Now look at this. How much angle does he carry and speed in that first corner?
The rear grip and the car control and the trust he has in the car going into turn 1 is pretty cool to watch. He knows that he can throw that in at 100% and it'll hang on for him. So speaks volumes about the car setup and about him as a driver. Dale here did a very good job sucking himself into the door following that last corner. Both put on a very good lead and chase, doing their respective jobs perfectly.
Yeah, but he really saw Dale Campaign had to work hard to keep that speed. And this is his opportunity now in the lead run. Can he balk Brody Mayer, who's been so super consistent today? And we see Dale Campaign, he keeps rubbing that tyre as he goes in with big speed. Throws it out, just grabs a little bit of handbrake there. Brody Mayer, though, uses all of that to suck up into the door. Almost making contact, doing a perfect chase run here. Just goes a little bit early on that transition there, trying to get that drive, like you say, coming out of that corner here. But look at him, sucks into the door, just backs back a little bit in the smoke, and then you see him straighten from Dale Campaign, and Brody Mayer goes, you know what, I'm just going to give you a little bit of room at this point, maybe preempting that little mechanical failure. Remembering, if you're side by side with that car, you'll hear the exhaust note change if it's a mechanical issue.
Oh, they will be that acutely aware of what's happening ahead of him. Exactly right. He'll hear a slight pitch change or an RPM change in the car that he's chasing, and he'll know straight away that I've got to play with a side of caution here. So it was very good and testament to both those guys to finish that run off without making a mess.
Look, the good news is we got results in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am as well as our Hi-Tec Oils Pro categories as well. So not too far away, we will be having those results come up to you. Of course, the Podium will be down there. They'll be partying. The champagne will be being popped. And, of course, there's a lot of cars taking out of this weekend that we've got to talk about that are going to come away hurt. We've got Scott Shembry. He's got a lot of work to do on that car now. There was a fair bit of damage when he really got sucked into that wall. James Abbott, the car just doesn't seem to be set up right, doesn't have that grip level that he was looking for. Glenn Omerod, I suppose, that was just unfortunate for him. He overshot the first corner. So that really let him down, but he's got a really good car behind him. So watch for him as the series goes on. We go back to other people like Matt Harvey, very unlucky, made it into the top 8, but unfortunately Dale Campaign, I mean, look, he made it all the way to the final. So if you're going to lose to someone who's making it to the final, I suppose, for Matt Harvey. But the Tasmania will come back. Patrick Barley qualified the best he's ever qualified when it comes to the Hi-Tec Drift Series in 3rd position. Unfortunately, we know they are nursing a couple of little mechanical issues there on that car, but managed to fight it out. Ended up in the top 8. Unfortunately, Jason Ferrin knocked him out and made it through in the Barra Wagon. So watch for him. Nathan Greenhill, unfortunately, didn't really get a start. He hurt the engine before it even started. Damien Cook in the Zoo Performance Skyline, I mean, a lot of damage. He lent the car to Mickey Moo, did a clutch overnight. Unfortunately, Mickey's grabbed the wall in that car when they've come out in practice. So that was already a hurt car. Unfortunately, Cookie just couldn't make that through into the final. So he's hurt there. Jason Ferrin, well, he managed to make it in the top 4 alongside Roger Ianson. We'll have to see who's going to come out on the podium, who's going to get third between Roger Ianson and Jason Ferrin. And it was Brody Mayer and Dale Campaign that made it all the way through into the top. Who is going to be the winner out of this one? We see the cars starting to make their way out on track now because we are going to have our trophy presentations. And how good do some of these cars look? The Barrawag, Jason Ferrin's got to be happy. The Keeper Reap boys are there this weekend, having a bit of a party there, being part of the Hi-Tec Drift Series. They've been over to South Australia before. He started in round number 1 at Winton, but he was in an R33. Now he's changed over to the Barra Wagon, and they've got a whole list of events to come up in that Barra Wagon as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Don't forget, our next round of racing will be from Winton Motor Raceway in Victoria, the 7th and 8th of May. So it's only about 6 weeks away, the 7th and 8th of May, Winton Motor Raceway in Victoria. A few hours north there of Melbourne, but for the Sydney siders, I suppose, and the Canberrans, it's not too far to go down south, and the Queenslanders, well, they've always got a bit of trouble when it comes, but don't worry, we are going up to Queensland on the 16th and 17th of July to enjoy a bit of humidity as we see everyone just shaking hands, very happy with that. The judges talking to the drivers. We'll have to wait and see who the winners are. We are going to finish things off, though, with the championship at Sydney Motorsport Park like we always do, the 30th of September, 1st of October. So right at the end of September there, it's going to be a big series to finish off what started 10 months ago in 2021 at Winton Motor Raceway. We got that run and done, and Brody Mayer was the top of the podium there. Can he make it 2 from 2? Imagine that in the series, starting things off 2 wins from 2 rounds.
Definitely a dream start. Although delayed in between round 1 to round 2, that is definitely the best thing you want to do for your title campaign and title contention. So once again, we've seen today that a well-oiled machine will always rise to the top, and consistency and reliability is key to drifting.
All right, so our Pro-Am, we are believing. Our Pro-Am in the background, we can tell you who has taken that out when it comes to the Zoo Performance Pro-Am category. In 4th place, Kurt Penrose Star, who's got that opportunity through Zoo Performance to come through up the ranks. They bought him the entry into the Hi-Tec Series there and supporting him, trying to get all these grassroots, I suppose, drifting categories up, and these guys get their confidence built up. So Kurt Penrose Star ends up in 4th position in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am. Then it goes to Sam Mudge, and what a comeback weekend for him with all the damage he's had in that car. The issues he's been through, the poor little RB20 has been beaten and has made it into 3rd position. In 2nd position, we saw that contact. Not really a surprise there. Matt Murphy and the Team Burst ends up in 2nd position for the Zoo Performance Pro-Am. But our winner there was Jason Hayden. And look, he was happy at the end of that when Carly got to interview him. So I think he knew that was coming, especially after that contact. But Jason Hayden takes out our Zoo Performance Pro-Am. He gets the Zoo harnesses. Matt Murphy will end up in 2nd with the Zoo steering wheel. And in 3rd position, going to be Sam Mudge. He's going to get himself a Zoo hat and a toe strap lap as well to go with everything that's happened this weekend. It's great for the Pro-Am, up and coming. We see so many good drivers, and, mate, drifting is strong.
Certainly is. It's been a long hiatus, but we're all back, and it's good to see that we have events and support to make sure that 2022 we get plenty of momentum and plenty of driving and competition back in, so we get back to some sort of normality with motorsport.
Look, the champagne's been dragged out on track. We are getting ready now to do our podium, though, in the Hi-Tec Oils Drift Allstars Pro category. It's not too far away. Who will be the winner between Brodie Mayer and Dale Campaign? Well, the South Aussie, mate, he's had a lot of wins there when it comes to the bend, and he's been on the podium so many times. Not a surprise to see him right up there. And will this start off a bit of a championship run there for Dale Campaign? Could he decide that he needs to dip his toes in it a bit more and follow the Hi-Tec Series around? Maybe we'll see that. Roger Anson, another tough competitor. Will he end up in third, or will it be Jason Ferrin, who just, after that contact in the previous round with Dale Campaign, don't know what they did to the alignment on that car, but he just seemed to relax, I suppose, in the car. And look at the runs he had when it came to the Barra Wagon.
Yeah, I think that sort of lifted a big weight off his shoulders, that contact, the unfortunate contact he made with Dale, but it allowed him to just sit back and enjoy that last run that he had with Roger. Once again, it showed two completely different cars and two completely different driving styles going at it. Roger, you know, in the not so high power but very technical driven 15, and then you had Jason in the very high power, very fluent and fun R31. It was actually good to see, and it was a good way to finish off because it shows the diversity not only in the drivers but in the cars that we have in this premier drifting category.
Oh, look, using everything we've got, Australian ingenuity, the Acostal knuckles there of Stewie Bryan. I mean, the working behind the scenes there to make those bigger cars do what we want to do with them. Looking at some of the cars, I mean, we go through them, but like the Skyline's now worth a lot of money. So we are starting to see the S13s and the Skylines start to drop out of the drift scene there just because of what they are actually worth now. They are, well, they're superannuation funds, some of them, if you can get them out there. And we've been out there beating them in the drifting community for a long time. So it's great to see we're starting to look at some of these different cars and we're putting different combinations. Like, who puts a Barra in an R31 Skyline? Well, Keep It Reek do. That's what they do.
Yeah, that conversation probably would have come up over a few beers after an event. But yeah, we are now starting to use what we have at our disposal. And we didn't know we had so many smart people and smart engineers and smart components available.
Here we go. Looks like our trophy presentation is underway down there on track. We'll run through it. Looks like Jason Ferrin has ended up in third place. Dale Campaign has ended up in second. And our winner for the second time in 2 rounds from Tasmania, Brodie Mayer, takes the win there in the Bonnie Energy S13. And what a battles they were. Unfortunately, Roger Anson just misses out on a podium there in 4th position. As we get the photo with all of our winners down there, and Jason Ferrin can't wipe the smile off his face. Dale Campaign so used to winning at this Bend Motorsport Park, and Brodie Mayer, well, he just looks... Well, he's got a big grin on his face, but I'm not surprised. He's been super consistent all day. We'd love to grab a word here with Jason Ferrin, as it looks like Carly's just setting up there to catch up. Carly, let's hear from Jason right now.
Well, Jason, congratulations on third place. I want to make this quick because I don't want that on me at all. But how are you feeling?
Yeah, really good. Absolutely stoked. Give it to me. Absolutely. It's my microphone now. Absolutely stoked on third place. The wagon's first competition. So, yeah, it couldn't end up better. The steering changes we did with Stewie's Acosta was on point. Got to thank the sponsors. Obviously, the main one being Keep It Reek. The Tri-Ace Tyres for jumping on board this round. They definitely held their place today. Absolutely grippy as hell. Pulse Titanium for the exhaust, Minis Paint Panel for doing the paints, Hypergear turbos, and who else we got? Zoo Performance, and Shockworks coilovers, of course. So thanks a lot, and of course the wife and kids at home, thank you very much for your support. Unfortunately, I couldn't be here today, but I did it for you. So and of course the boys in the pits and Josh Rogers in my ear, they got this thing out there as quick as possible, and yeah, thanks heaps. Thanks, Hi-Tec.
Can I have it back now? There's a long list there, Jason, to go through. All right, let's go to second place. What do we have? Our very own SA driver, Dale Campaign.
Oh, cheers. Yeah, what a tough battle.
Don't seem too enthused there.
Oh, no, it's amazing. It's just absolutely wrecked. It's been a long day. Massive thanks to my crew and all the other mates that chipped in to get us back on track. It was pretty bent up, and yeah, we got it as good as we could. Carl was breaking down a little bit through the chase against Brodie. I couldn't catch him, so yeah, well done to him. Amazing driving. So yeah, very happy to take this home.
got to thank GH Haulage, Kumo tyres. You guys are amazing. Like, the tyres were so damn grippy. It was awesome. Smith Partners, Ironside for the wrap, made it absolute. It looks amazing. And I won't keep you too long, but all the rest of the amazing sponsors that have been on board to help me get here. So yeah, really good. Thank you.
Awesome. Congratulations again. Awesome. Here we are, Brody. First place for round 1 and round 2 so far. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Definitely pretty stoked with that one. A little bit surprised that I got the win. It was super tight with Dale. We were both pushing at 110%, and yeah, it was pretty dicey out there, but glad to get the win. It's been a super long weekend. It's been a lot of fun, but yeah, I'd like to thank my crew for crewing the car all weekend. Some of my sponsors, Bonnie Energy, Straight Line, Ceramic Coating, Taz, KC Custom, and a few others. But yeah, definitely couldn't be here without them, so thanks.
Well, congratulations again. What an amazing round 2, guys. This is epic. And here we go. Ah, come here.
It's not the cheap stuff too. We haven't let out in the cheap stuff when it comes to the champagne. Look at him there, the celebrations. Brody Mayer, I mean, he's just so calm and collected, and when it comes to the presentations, he's not over it. He's excited enough, but not overexcited. It's been a big trip to get him there. Remembering, not only they come from Tasmania, they've got to get on the barge to get over. They had dramas with the transportation getting there. Like, so the tow car did a harmonic balancer. They've had to get there. They've had to do a whole heap of work on it. Don't forget, our next round, though, will be round number 3 from Winton Motor Raceway on the 7th and 8th of May. Our Pro and Pro-Am categories will be back, of course. Follow us at www.hightechdriftingaustralia.com.au, or make sure you go to Hi-Tec Drifting Australia on Facebook. Like the page. Follow us on Instagram, of course. All the accounts, so you know exactly what is going on. We're only 6 to 7 weeks away from heading to Winton. Are you going to be back, though, Adam?
Look, I would love to be. I definitely want to be there in the best capacity I can be, and that's in a car. So we'll just wait and see. Every day is a new day. We've got 6 weeks to knuckle down and try and get our car ready.
Well, will Brody Mayer, they go back to back? Will it be 3 from 3 for Brody Mayer? He won there round number 1 10 months ago. Now he's done it at the Bend. Can he do it again? Will Dale Campaign come over and take it to him at Winton? Hopefully we can talk him into that one. And will Jason Ferrin in the wagon, will just more and more laps under his belt. He is starting to show he could be a contender later on in this champion check. As the celebration burnouts get underway, Roger Jansen just getting rid of the tyres on the back of the S15. It's always a celebration after a drift competition.
Oh, it's a bad afternoon to be a tyre, that's for sure.
An absolutely shocking afternoon to be a tyre as we smoke them up there. Of course, big shout out to all of our sponsors here. We could not do it without them. Of course, Hi-Tec Oil sponsoring the Drift Allstar Series and the Pro category. Zoo Performance supporting the up-and-coming Pro-Am category, and for all the prizes they've given us and for all the support that they put behind everybody, we thank them. Tri-Ace Tyres, we can't thank them enough, and so many of the drivers getting behind. Of course, you can get them at Hi-Tec Motorsport Tyres. You can buy them through Hi-Tec. And of course, we need to thank Orange Hire for getting on board for all your traffic management and earth moving needs. So that is Orange Hire. You need your traffic managers. Well, we do need some traffic management out there now. Let's manage to get them out there. It's the Barra wagon, the Keeper Reet wagon, just locking the front tyres. Not enough grip on the front. No Barra's got a drama spinning the tyres, though.
No, that's what they're built for. If they're not loose in the rear, just wind up the boost.
Nothing boost can't fix when it comes to drifting, and the burnout celebrations here at round number 2 of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Star Series from the Bend Motorsport Park. It's been a fantastic weekend of drifting. It's been a fantastic day to have everybody out there on the live stream. We hope you've enjoyed it. The battles were so close to the end. Brody Mayer, Dale Campaign could have been either one of those cars. Like we said, unfortunately, a little bit of mechanical issue there for Dale Campaign, and Brody Mayer continues a strong start to the series. 2 from 2 as they go synchronised burnouts. Look, now we've got a stunt team as well.
Yeah, well, they know what they can do to earn some extra money to pay for tyres for round 3. But no, great driving, great event. It's great to be back. It's looking like it's going to be a big year ahead.
Mate, big shout out once again to all of our sponsors. The Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Star Series is run and done for round number 2 at the Bend Motorsport Park. Shout out to Zoo Performance, the Pro-Am category, Tri-Ace Tyres and Orange Hire. We're going to do it all again on the 7th and 8th of May from Winton Motor Raceway. It's just 6 weeks away. Can't wait to see you there.